All right. There we are.
All right.
Good evening, everyone.
I'm waiting for it to come up.
I don't know if it was a lot different from y'all's end using the new YouTube Studio streaming interface. There was like there was a whole thing about scheduling it. Hopefully it was not a confusing experience for people on your end.
We're still figuring it out. And I think it's because it gives people notifications before it actually goes live. As soon as you schedule it, it shows up in people's feeds, and they can set it so it reminds you right as it goes live. And the fact of the matter is that YouTube is going to switch over to using that pretty much exclusively. So we're just learning it before we're forced to.
Right. I mean, that'll be probably pretty soon. I mean, they've threatened it for a long time, and it's like the one lingering aspect of like the classic creator studio or whatever. You know?
I like that you're like, they've threatened it for a long time.
They did. It's true.
I know. It's just funny that it's a threat versus, like, hey, here's this cool thing you might enjoy using.
I mean, it's not really that complicated. It's not that different from just adding a new video, really.
Right.
So.
But, this week is your turn, and I'll get to learn it next week.
Yeah, so I'm streaming upstairs, actually putting my upstairs internet to the test. And the numbers are good. I was using a bad cable before. Luckily, there are 3 cables run up here, and one it was a little too short to totally reach, but I got a little extension, and it looks like I should not have any problems streaming upstairs just as well as downstairs with the new modem and router and everything. So
see how it goes. But your new setup has been working pretty well, it seems.
Yeah, so far. I mean, I was also having pretty good luck with the 3rd replaced Spectrum equipment, but then it started going bad too. But hopefully, my own modem and router, I didn't go cheap on them, unfortunately. So, or maybe fortunately, I don't know. But anything to end the horror of
the horror
of all this. So yeah, I decided to play Congo's Caper tonight. I beat Joe and Mac 1 on Super Nintendo. I don't know, 2 or 3 weeks ago.
Mm-hmm.
And I had started a bit ago, but then I was kind of afraid of the final boss because I had never had enough lives by the time I got there. And then I played it again on a backloggery stream several weeks back, and it was brought to my attention that you can grind for 1-ups. You can leave levels after you've beaten them. I did not know that. So I did not know you could go back to a level, let alone leave it. So I couldn't find like a really great grinding spot for 1-ups. I found one that was like near the end of the level, but I got way more lives than I needed and didn't use nearly all of them. So that at least it got me to the end. So now this Congo's Caper is I'm not sure exactly on the specific Japanese name. I don't know if it's Caveman Ninja or Caveman Ninja 2. I don't know if they're actually called Caveman Ninja in Japan. I know that Caveman Ninja is a moniker that is associated with the Joe and Mac games.
And, it's a way better name than Joe and Mac.
It's a pretty great name. Even though they really aren't caveman ninjas, they're just cavemen. There's nothing ninja-like about Joe and Mac at all. But it's just called Caveman Ninja.
In prehistoric times, there wasn't even ninjas yet.
Yeah, so they were as ninja-like as you got, I guess.
Ninja equivalents of their time.
So yeah, this is the second in that series, actually. So Joe and Mac 2, the game that's called Joe and Mac 2 in America, is called is the number 3 in Japan, and that one seems super good. But I'm gonna play this. I'm gonna play this one first, and this appears to have a password system, judging by the title screen. So there's no difficulty select in the menu, so I don't know if that means it's, you know, complete from beating it. I don't know. We'll see.
We got a $5 donation from Chris saying, "Sup, guys? I'll be doing some college work, so this will be my background noise.
Excellent.
We'll do our best not to distract you from your important work."
Well, I expect this game to be like the most like pleasantly, inoffensively okay game ever.
Yeah.
You know, like nothing about this game like leads me to assume that it's going to be like some like hidden masterpiece, but it seems completely competent and well made, you know?
Yeah. I'm sure, I mean, it looks like it's probably going to be pretty fun.
Yeah, I'm not expecting it to be difficult.
But I bet you don't remember much about it once it's over.
Probably not, no. All I know is that there are falling red marbles from the sky, which apparently turn monkeys into monkey boys.
Oh.
So now I'm a monkey boy.
Is it kind of like Toki?
Yeah, good old Toki. You have a copy of that.
I'm not sure if
incoming,
Congo can go ape spit like Toki does.
Well, we'll find out. I tested out the controls earlier. I should have looked up the manual for this game. I was looking to see if like there was any like hidden mechanics to see if I can look up like a game fact or something. There's no fact for this game.
Really?
Yeah, which is surprising.
That's surprising.
Yeah. One thing I figured out though that's kind of interesting is you like enemies, when you like give them a second whack, they like can break blocks. So
I see that. That's cool.
Oh, and I can actually push them. There's things going on here.
We got a $9.99 donation from
Thank you.
Smooth Mercenary. Thank you. Saying, love your video production quality, but could you guys also put the name and the region of the games below the gameplay you guys showcase in your future videos? So that's something that people ask us about all the time.
Yeah.
And it would be, some of the games are only on screen for like a handful of seconds, and I think that it would not look good in practice.
It would not
I can
look good,
understand
and
the idea of wanting it, but I don't think that it would look good in practice. And not only that, but I mean stuff like RGB stuff. I mean, it just would, once there's, you know, comparisons and stuff on screen, it would just become so cluttered. Mm-hmm. And take away from what it's trying to do.
Right. I mean, I get why people want it, but like, and to be perfectly honest, it would be like the most miserable, mind-numbing task ever. Like, if we like hired an intern or something, that's like intern work. But you know, I would never want to actually be on the video. But in all honesty, like when people leave comments asking what game at what time code, like, I probably answered 90% of those.
On the other hand, I think that the way that I wish that it could happen and would like to do it, and I'm not sure if this is even possible, but I would love it if there was a way to have a custom subtitle stream. Where you could, if I could create a subtitle track that can be activated within YouTube, that would be perfect.
But and we thought about this before, but I think it would be against their rules to make a subtitle track that wasn't actual language.
Yeah, exactly. But I mean, that's something I haven't really looked into too much. But maybe there is a way to do that. I don't know. We got a $2 donation from Michael Vu saying, "What in your opinion is a ideal size consumer CRT?" I mean, most people are going to say 20-inch, probably. In some ways, I really enjoy like 14-inch PVM specifically. I just think that they look really, really good. And if you're not sitting far away from it, it's basically like the perfect size.
I mean, I've got 24-inch consumer
CRT,
CRT, which I really like because it's bigger than your average PVM.
Right.
You know?
Yeah, I mean,
but
yeah,
obviously,
like
the bigger you go, I mean, I would
is a sweet spot, I think, for consumer CRTs.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I would love an even bigger one for sure, but I don't have it. So for now, I'm happy with 24-inch.
Yeah, like 24, 25, 26, 27. I don't think there's any 26s out there, but I know that I had a 25-inch at one point, and I think the one I have way back there, you can't really see it in my camera, but it's the Toshiba I have is a 27, which I feel like was a pretty standard size for consumer CRTs for a long time. It was like they weren't expensive, but they were not super cheap either. We got a $5 donation from our good friend Shinjan PV.
Oh, thank you.
Saying burping a baby and watching an MLiG stream, a good cap off to the weekend. Oh, that's right. That's right. How's everything going with fatherhood so far?
I remember when that came up a few months ago for the first time.
Yeah. We got $4.99 from Michael A. Thank you. He says, "Hey guys, I'm about to start my first FF12 playthrough. Do you recommend playing it on the PS2 with component on a Trinitron or a PS4 on a Bravia 4K?" I'm curious to hear what you say because I haven't played the HD version yet.
I definitely recommend the new version over the original, largely because they added the Zodiac Age features.
Right.
That was like the international version in Japan, but they Sandy, do you want down? There's this feature where you like actually choose like job classes kind of for what kinds of skills each character can learn. So it is in some ways less flexible, but if you don't specialize your roles, I feel like Final Fantasy 12 becomes very difficult. And that was kind of a big thing I learned, I think, playing Final Fantasy 12 for the first time on PS2 was I always up to that point had a tendency to kind of make jack of all trades type parties and characters in RPGs. And Final Fantasy 12 really taught me the importance of like roles and specializations, because like you would get into situations where, you know, like let's say everyone like kind of heals a little bit and everyone, you know, kind of attacks a bit, you know, they do a little bit of everything. You're going to run into situations where you're not really dealing enough damage to the enemy to just get rid of them because everyone's stopping to heal. So you really got to have like that dedicated attacker, that dedicated healer, you know, where you tell the healer, you know, only heal like if you've got that, or only attack if you've got nothing else to do. But I do think the new version, you know, if you have an Xbox One X, you can actually play it in 60 frames per second, which I think is the only version that does that. I guess PC, is there a PC version? Probably. That probably is too, but on console, Xbox One X is the only one that can do 60 frames per second, but I don't think the Xbox version has I don't think it has any high res modes. The PS4 Pro is 30 frames per second, but like 1440p or something like that. But it was actually the first game I played on my OLED. Like the first one that I like played through because it came out the day before I got the OLED.
Oh.
So that was
nice. I missed 2 donations. I'm going to go back and get them now. There was one it was $2 from Warren Hokie.
Thank you.
Saying, been playing the FF7 port for the Xbox One. recommend it.
I forgot that it was on the Xbox One, but yeah, there's a lot of Final Fantasy games available on Xbox nowadays.
Yeah. You know, I recently bought the FF9 HD on the Switch when it was on sale.
Oh yeah.
And it has a forced border, which I was kind of annoyed by.
Oh, I don't remember that. I did buy it digitally. And then I ended up getting like the physical that you could order from Japan, or I don't even know if it was Japan. It might have just
that's
been
7 and 8.
Asia version.
I'm at 9.
Oh, that's right. 9. Did 9 not get a physical? That's right. I forgot.
Nope.
I forgot.
It doesn't currently, at least.
Yeah, I do have it though, but I booted it up, but I don't remember the forced border. What I do remember is thinking that the backgrounds were not well served by the high res characters. I didn't think like they just didn't mesh all that well, in my opinion.
Yeah, I just really feel I felt like replaying Final Fantasy IX lately, and that seemed like a good excuse to do it. But the forced border just
you kind of want to play it. Just play it on PS1 then, huh? Yeah,
basically.
Or a PSP, you know, that might be a good choice if you wanted to take it away from. What happened? Why did it go to that screen and
then? We also got $2 for Love of the Game.
Oh, thank you.
Saying nice. Congo Scaper, the prehistoric lawn mowing man. Or lawn mowing game. Lawnmower Man. I haven't seen Lawnmower Man in ages. I don't know why. If I see the word lawn mowing, I can't not think of the Lawnmower Man. Congo Scaper, the prehistoric lawn mowing game.
I'm not sure exactly what you mean by lawn mowing, but
I wonder if that's like what this is often referred to as like by the community or something. By all those people not writing facts for it. Yeah, FF9, it's been a long time. I haven't played it since it came out.
You know,
I remember very little about it.
Like, I feel like lately, like, I feel, I've probably said this before, but like, it used to be that I kind of felt like I had to be ready for an RPG. Like,
right.
Like, it was always like this big commitment, and I had to be ready for it. And like I didn't want to play like 2 RPGs, but like back to back. But like nowadays, I feel like I want to play RPGs all the time, whether I have time or not. Like, I'm just like always in the mood for an RPG. Like, I've been playing the Switch version of Xenoblade Chronicles, and I've been really enjoying that. I was also thinking when I get my PS1 digital, I was thinking, you know what? Like, I should just like play Lunar.
Yes,
1 and 2 back to back and record them so that we can actually do a video.
Yeah, you should.
I'm like, you know, I'm just going to do it.
Yeah, you definitely should. Got a $5 donation from Dustin Kramer. Thank you. Saying edit videos for 12 hours today. Happy to wind down the weekend with the boys. Well, thank you. I wonder, are you working on on a new episode of your show? Dustin recently started a new show on his YouTube channel called what is it? From camera, like what is it? I got to look it up. I'm sorry, I apologize. I was trying to find it before. The camera from, it's like cameras to. You want to refresh me on it? I don't know why I can't think of it right now. I was just trying to bring it up. He did an excellent video on Discs of Tron.
Oh, I just noticed if I hold R, I can run. It's probably good to know. I couldn't figure out how to hurt this boss. Am I supposed to hit the devil guy?
It's camera to console, I believe it is. Yes. From camera to console. That's it.
Oh, I think actually I am hurting it, I think. Okay.
There's a $2 donation from Shadow Mask saying, "Did either of you put in a Stadiator order yet?" I was back and forth on whether I was gonna get one. I think I'm gonna wait and see some reviews first. I mean,
since you've got your mode, you were saying you might give me your Phoebe.
Oh yeah. I mean, I'm like once that video is done, the mode video is done, I'm gonna send you the
yeah. So like, I would love to have one, but like it's not a huge priority for me right now.
Well, the whole thing that is really interesting to me is the fact that they figured out a way to use the Stadiator to back up save file.
Ah, this is a recent development.
Yeah, and I mean, you know me with my save files, and if I can do that kind of thing, I'm way into it. But I'm gonna wait and see like what other people are saying about it. I know that there's been some I think written reviews of it so far, but I need to look more into it. I mean, I do want it, but I still got to do this video on the mode. I mean, that's it's just the timing of everything. Got a $5 donation from Zoom Dust. I'm assuming it's Zoom. It's XOOM. Zoom. What model PVMs do you guys have? And is the geometry perfect, or do you deal with imperfections?
Well, there's nothing such as perfect, but it's perfect enough, I guess. I'm playing on a 20L5 right now.
Yeah, I have a 20L5, 14L5. What is it? The 14 MDU, 20 MDU, or whatever. Mm-hmm. Those are the main ones, and the geometry on the 14 and the 14L5 and the 20L5 is about as good as they can probably be, because they were done by Steve from Retrotech, who was on the stream last week.
Yep.
He did a very good job on them after repairing them and recapping them. I got a $5 donation from Aaron Welsh saying, "Trapped inside for the next few days because of fires in Portland. You guys have convinced me to go ahead and play FF9 on my PS1."
Well, that'd be a good distraction. I can't imagine like living with that like looming by my house. Like that's horrifying.
I cannot imagine how stressful that has to be. I hope that everything around you is okay. I mean, everyone, yourself and your neighbors and family and everybody.
I mean, I imagine in Portland proper, the biggest concern is just air quality.
Yeah. But those pictures were crazy. Of like the red sky and stuff like that. It's insane. We got a $2 Mexican peso from Lunita Productions.
Thank you.
Thank you. Saying, Pro Sinaloa mi apa. If someone can translate that for me. Pro Sinaloa mi apa. Chat.
What? I thought crouching there was safe. This boss seems a little mean. Oh, I can hit that. That might be good to do.
Yeah, PVM prices are out of control. Like 14-inch ones, like not even like 480p ones are going for like $1,700 right now.
Me appa is my friends. Alright, I'm getting this jerk figured out.
I'm trying to translate it. It's not going well.
Oh, FF9 for Xbox One is on Game Pass. That's pretty crazy.
Oh, okay. The fires were started as wildfires, right? I mean, that's what it is. I mean, a lot of times that kind of stuff is just like, oh, it's an accident, or someone is camping and it like catches, or like, I don't know. Didn't I hear something that one of them was related to like a gender reveal party? Like that's how one of them started.
Wow.
Oh, we got a $2 donation from Jonathan Hinson. Thank you. Saying, seeing the Action Button Doom review.
I saw a little bit of the premiere.
Yeah, I've watched a bit of the premiere as well, and it was incredible. And I'm excited to go back and continue watching it. Or I missed the first, I think maybe hour and 20 minutes of it.
Man, that purple shot is mean. It's very strange that there's like a boss to fight like in the level right after the first boss.
We got $10 from Craig Wan. Thank you. Saying chilling here always makes me smile. I hope we can do that. Hope we can do that in real life at a convention when the pandemic is over. Any chance you'll be covering the Sega Astro City Mini? I'd love to hear your thoughts. Yeah, I have one pre-ordered myself. I mean, there's no way I was not gonna get that. But I ended up pre-ordering the arcade stick too recently. I was like, I'm gonna pre-order this because at the very least I can take it and maybe use it on something else, like on a super gun or something at the very least.
Oh, I can hit him in the middle when he does that.
But yeah, I mean, I'm definitely importing that. I'm excited. The game selection is really good, I think. But I mean, we have no idea how well it's going to be emulated. I mean, just all it does is make me really excited for the Sega 16 Mr. Core eventually. I mean, I've never played the arcade version of eSWAT. And there's a lot of good stuff on there.
Kuo in the chat there, I see asking about Monster World 4 if it has a save battery or an EEPROM. And I think this was when you were on the road. It came up in the Discord chat. And I said I assumed it just had an EEPROM like Monster World 5 or Monster World 3. And I said Coury would know because there's different file extensions. Oh, there appear to be limited continues.
I'm pretty sure that it is. No, it's a save. It's a battery. Because I've dumped the save off of my Japanese cart with my Retrode, and you can't do that with EEPROMs.
Oh, you can't dump EEPROMs?
No, not with the Retrode you can't.
Oh, I thought you could.
And I've definitely done that. I've definitely dumped the file off of it. But I don't want to open it up and check because you got to like destroy the back label to unscrew it.
Yeah. But I mean, someday you might have to.
Yeah, that's true.
Mine still has saves on it, though.
Yeah, mine did too. I mean, mine were both nearly complete, perfect playthroughs.
Oh, I wish I had that. Mine are pretty early.
Well, I have them.
I do not think I've dodged that purple shot once. Like,
is it the first boss?
Is. Actually, it's the second boss. Like this is the level after the level that had the first boss. It's kind of strange. I think I just figured out the purple shot though. I think he always shoots it to the far side of where he is now. So if I go close to him, then I don't think it'll hit me. I thought it was. No, I guess not. Jeez. I thought it was following me, and then I thought it wasn't. Now I think it is. So I don't even know. I have an idea though. I'm gonna let go over there.
Joe's making me open a permanent Google Translate window here. Saying, Coury, did you also pre-order the controller for the Sega Astro City? And I did. I mean, the control pad is extremely horrible looking, but I couldn't not do it, not order that. I mean, even if the emulation is disappointing on it, which I mean, there's a very good chance that it will be. It's just like is a cool thing. And the amount of games on it is great, I think. Maybe if you duck, can you duck?
I have not figured it out. Like I do not know how to dodge that attack.
Right there.
It's weirdly difficult.
Do I still have the Wu-Tang controller? I was actually borrowing that. BBA 935 is saying to try hitting him with your stick.
Hitting the ball with my stick?
Yeah, I mean...
I tried, but I got hit every time. I don't know if maybe I could hit it before it splits. I don't know. I can hit the red one. I tried hitting the ball before it split. Or after it split, but it didn't... Maybe the hit detection is just really demanding. I'm not sure. Wow.
Cheesemeister, I have a separate window for Google Translate open.
I think I jumped.
I can read that message well using Google Translate.
Gosh. Okay.
Yeah, I'm not
I can jump over it before it explodes.
There you go.
This guy is surprisingly
I'm not
tough for so
expecting to
early in the
play
game, though.
seriously play the Astro City, but it does have HDMI out, so that has me interested. Oh, thank you. We got $20 from
Wow.
Supra Guy 88 saying
Thank
here's
you.
$20.
Well, I don't
Thank you.
know what to say to that other than that is a very accurate statement. And thank you.
Stand under him and jump up is an option too, it looks like.
You mean jump up to attack him? Like
Well,
that's risky
yeah.
though, because I mean you can't take a lot of hits in this. And
Just the
but
first
jumping
boss.
over that purple thing is a lot easier than I thought it would be. I've run through my continues though, that's for sure. I mean, one thing that's different about this from Joe and Mac is that Joe and Mac, you respawn where you die, like until you continue. Nope.
Lionheart 8 is asking, when are you guys gonna stream some Goemon game? I mean, we've done 1 and 2 in the past.
Yeah, I think that you streamed those. I absolutely. I mean, I've got a lot of Goemon games on my backlog for sure. So I definitely
Go Man.
Go. What did I call it at first? Just I think I called it Gomean, even though that is not where the E appears in the name Goemon, but whatever.
Yeah, I always just said Goman.
Gomean. Mystical Ninja starring Gomean.
GameStack is asking, why doesn't your life bar work? I see 3 blue life bar thingies that never change.
They, like, when you start off as the monkey boy, if you get a red crystal, then you get an extra hit and it fills in the blue into red. And I've never had more than 1 spare hit. But then you become the monkey if you get hit.
Zachary Drummond, we played PSO on GameCube. It must have been...
It wasn't that long ago, maybe 3 months ago?
Well, no, 3 months ago?
What?
No, that was like in like early February.
Oh, okay.
I mean, I can understand why you might think that it was 3 months ago.
Time's
I mean,
a blur.
these last 8 months have felt like simultaneously the longest time in my life, and has gone extremely quick at the same time. It's weird. It's like stuck in a black hole or something. Okay, yeah, so if it was in March, it was before everything really kicked in. But I played it quite a bit back in the day on Dreamcast.
You haven't quite put the time into PSO2 that you on Xbox wanted to.
I was playing it super consistently for a long time, and then I missed a day, and then that day turned into 2 days, and it's been a while since I've logged in now. I feel like I need to go back to it, but it's just now I'm closing in on almost the end of Dragon Quest 11. And somehow with like 77 hours.
That's not surprising.
But you say that there's like a whole other part after where I'm at.
Right. And it's not just like your typical post-game stuff. Like you're going to want to do it. It's really a whole. You're closer to like finally beat that jerk. You're closer to I'm just like wiggling my butt, and Girl Monkey is just like way into it, I guess. What was that? I don't know how far behind you are with normal latency.
It just happened. I just went to the stage clear.
Oh, okay. So there's a little latency. Oops. I think I just skipped a cutscene by hitting the D-pad.
Oh well.
Well, so it looks like here's some bad guys.
So
oh, now there's a stage select. Look at this.
Is like the post game, the quote unquote post game, is it long?
Yeah, it's pretty long. I mean, it is, I would say, similar length to Act 2, but it could go faster in some ways because you like are familiar with the world.
Yeah. Well, I think the Act 2, the way I've done it has been, I probably drew it out longer than it needed to be. I didn't get my last party member until I had done things in other towns that I probably would have needed to do later on.
I didn't do much with like the general like side quests, just like, the random people in town who want something done.
Yeah, I've actually done a bunch with it.
I did a little, but not a lot.
I've done all the side quests that are not use this specific pet power in battle. I even did some of the Talkington stuff.
Oh yeah, well, I did those, but I was like way over leveled for them.
But it's I like it. I'm kind of ready to be done with it, knowing that I have maybe another 30 hours.
Yeah.
But I mean, I guess there's a lot of, I guess it makes sense because there's a lot of abilities that you just can't level up enough to get. I'll have to find
not
a place
easily. So
find some metal slimes. There's quite a few king metal slimes in the Fortress of Fear, which is where I'm at right now.
It's pretty easy to like, if you wanted to max out your characters in Act 3, it's very possible.
Really? That's good to know.
Yeah, I don't think I maxed them out, but I think I got them at least into the 90s.
Oh wow. Do you know what you were at when you finished Act 2?
I don't.
I'm at 57 now.
Interesting. I've still got this like. Oh.
But I really like one of the things I like about Dragon Quest games is that you can grind and be like really overpowered before you get to the end.
It's weird. It looked like I had some sort of invincibility, but I was still losing the crystals. I think I'm skipping cutscenes on accident because I'm like holding the R button.
It's a huge time sink, but there's just something very charming about Dragon Quest games. I really love the English translations in them.
Yeah.
I mean, they're funny. I mean, it makes you wonder when they're gonna run out of like names for things.
I mean, Dragon Quest is just like, it just does the basics, but it does the basics so well, you know?
Well, yeah, I mean, and
That's-
each one includes like a lot of streamlining of those basics.
Mm-hmm.
You never feel like you have a whole other system to learn,
Right.
which is very comforting in this day and age.
I thought that the PEP system was like not going to be that useful because like I was like, oh, what are the chances that like two people are going to have that one time? But it can actually be quite a bit of a strategy, especially like if you see up until the final boss of Act 2, I did not utilize I didn't utilize the being able to swap people in and out of the party very well throughout the game because it didn't really need it that much. And you know, that was kind of eye-opening for me and Act 2, and then when I play it again on Switch, you know, I use that a lot. But especially with pep powers, like if someone is pepped up, you may want to save it for later. You can just swap them out and they'll never lose it.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, I did not know that. We got a
This looks like a caveman ninja.
$5 donation from Ovalfast LX. Thank you, saying, you guys watch VHS or DVD movies on CRT. Thanks, and remember to drink your Ovalfast LX. Don't make me put a bar of soap in your mouth.
I would like to. I should. But I tend to not. But I would definitely like to do that more often because they do look nice. Oh, these reappeared.
I won a copy of Home Alone for the Genesis on eBay.
Oh man, you're almost down to just like chicky.
I'm closing in. I got a Toki on the way from a friend. I just got Alien Storm, which was like up at like $70, but now is trending down towards like $50. So I was like, I'm gonna get it. So after, I guess I just have Cyborg Justice, which I have one on hold at Arcade Legacy. I'm not sure if he still has it though. It's been a while. So I might end up having to do that. And then I'm just gonna have to just put in for the Chicky Boys, which has not gone down at all. There's a sealed copy of Chicky Boys on eBay selling for $1,300 right now. Which is
I guess when I
get for weeks.
Powered up in some way when I have all three. Whoa, where am I?
One Home Alone. Yeah, Home Alone on the Genesis, isn't it like the first game to really have a whole crafting system in it?
That's I've heard that said.
I think that's what Re-Res said. Time ago. But hang on one second. Let me grab something here. I do want to send a big thank you to Adam, who contacted me after the live stream 2 weeks ago and said, hey, I heard you say that you really needed a manual for Michael Jackson's Moonwalker, because that was like the only one that I had that is not complete. And he said, I got an extra manual for Moonwalker in a lot a couple of years back and offered to send it to me. So I finally have a complete copy of Moonwalker. I was missing the manual. I was regretting not waiting until I could find one with a manual.
The game was a good deal, though.
Yeah, it was. But then you think about the manual, like nobody's going to sell the manual by itself, really, because they'll just hang on to it, like looking for a complete copy and then sell that. So a huge thank you to Adam for reaching out to me via Twitter.
What is the deal with like the little like white spot like under like between the monkey's ears and mouths?
Like almost like an earring.
Yeah, but I don't think it is. That's the only thing that it looks like, though. All right, so I cleared that level. So I guess these levels have like 3 levels and a boss level, something like that.
So bad, unless there's another set of levels after this. Probably one last set of levels.
Yeah. But I'm nervous because I read down all my like basically all of my continues in that first world.
See, Abby Jameson in the chat is saying, I'm still looking for a Moonwalker manual. It's true. I mean, I think that I got this copy like 3 or 4 years ago.
Something like that sounds about right.
And even before that, I was looking for a Wonder Boy and Monster World manual. And I ended up having to buy, I found there was one on eBay that I ended up buying for $15. $15 for a manual.
But hey, if it completes a collection, $15 ain't much.
It's true. And I guess when I first got it, I wasn't thinking I was gonna collect.
Right.
That's right. Mario 3D or 3D All-Stars is out on Friday, isn't it?
Yep.
You've been putting together a lot of stuff for our video.
Mm-hmm. I think you're going to be really happy.
Well, hopefully it's going to be out. Like, I mean,
by the time
Friday is going to be like a big day because I'll be up late that night. But I realized that Saturday might be difficult.
What is going on?
Because Saturday is my wife's birthday.
Oh.
Which might make things a little bit more challenging.
Well, ideally, it could be out by the time you watch the stream next week. We'll see. That would be nice. But we'll just have to see. I mean, just get done as much as you can this week. I mean, I'm once I've got the materials together, I'll.
Is the script done?
Basically, aside from obviously the 3D All-Star stuff, I mean, I need to do some polishing, especially toward the end.
But I will need to shoot my stuff. I'm in it, right?
You're in it, yeah.
Yeah. So,
but I'm not going to record my on cam until I've written my 3D All-Stars stuff.
Right. But what about my stuff? Can I keep that separate?
You can. Yeah, you're not going to talk about. I'm going to talk about 3D All-Stars. So you can shoot yours.
Okay.
I mean, I'm going to record my voiceover, so you can start. You can start editing that stuff, no problem. But I'm going to wait to shoot my on cam until 3D All-Stars is. I've written a segment for it. But I mean, I should probably say that, like, don't expect too much about, the PC port, because, yeah, I know we streamed it, but like we've since kind of become a little nervous.
Yeah, I mean, it gets talked about, but you know, there's
We're-
only so much
we're
we
gonna
can do.
make-
We don't want to get. We don't want to like have the video like. We don't want to get in trouble because of the video.
Right. And Nintendo is pretty on edge lately, so
Yeah.
I think it will be alluded to, but I mean, really, this is going to be part of the best way to play series, like we did with Castlevania, Rondo of Blood, and Symphony of the Night, and the Phantasy Star games.
Right. But this is going to just be focused on Mario 64.
Right. It was going to be all 3 games, but like Mario 64 is just massive in and of itself.
Which I mean, it just makes it more interesting, I think, in general.
Yeah. So, I mean, but yeah, like with the best way to play games, like the point is always, we will talk about the versions that are out there. And if you want to play in a non-official way, the fact that we're not talking that much about that stuff is no, like, some people think like, oh, you're just being goody two shoes, whatevers. But the point is always like, we're going to talk about the versions they're released, because I think that's what's interesting for us to discuss.
Yeah,
if you want to emulate or whatever, like, how you like to emulate, like our discussion, I think will still give you pointers for like, what version do I want to emulate? What things shall I look out for? And a big thing with Mario 64, almost more than like how it looks or anything like that, is, was I supposed to get on that? That wasn't clear. A big thing is the controls, because I think I've kind of got you realizing like, like maybe I shouldn't be saying like I don't like Mario 64 that much, because you played it on Virtual Console with a classic controller, and oh my gosh, like I was testing that out, and it is unacceptable for this game. The classic controller is
now you're suddenly like, okay, maybe it makes sense that you had these problems with it.
Now I understand, like, because you're like, I just thought Mario just feels too touchy. I don't like it. It's like, that is exactly how it feels with a classic controller. Even with a GameCube controller on Wii, it's not ideal. And like, it's like I played through the game with a GameCube controller, like back when the Wii first came out. I got 120 stars, but like, I know how to play the game. I'm usually going relatively fast most of the time anyway. And now I'm kind of realizing like, someone who's never really played this game before, and they're just like feeling it out for the first time, I can see how you would get the wrong impression about it. For playing with the wrong controller or on the wrong system. And I mean, the jury's still out on 3D All-Stars, but, because I don't have it yet, but, like, I gotta be honest, like, no version of the game that is released yet, like, really comes close enough, in my opinion, to how the N64 controls. And now, mind you, I'm not just talking about the original N64 controller, because I found the RAFnet GameCube adapter and the Brawler to be pretty good, compared to an original controller. So, that is a good sign. But for some reason, the way that the GameCube controller is mapped for the Wii is not good enough. Ooh, this guy's gonna be a lot harder than the other boss, because there's no chance to build up your life before him.
We got a $10 donation from Chicken and Fish.
Chicken and Fish.
Chicken and fish.
Sounds delicious. Maybe I'll have that tomorrow.
Saying, love MLiG content. You guys are super helpful and cool. Have you ever played Brave Fencer Musashi?
Yes. Have you beaten it? I've beaten it.
I came pretty close, but I don't remember anything about it. I would like to replay it. And it's not very long as far as I understand, right?
No, it's pretty short. Maybe 15 hours. Although there are a lot of side quests, and I didn't do very much of that. I've always wanted to replay it and put a little more time into some of the optional stuff. The music in that game is incredible, especially like the first level theme is so good.
The waterfall.
Yeah.
Too.
Yeah.
But Chicken and Fish was also wondering, what's your guys' pick between Revenge of Shinobi and Shinobi 3?
Ooh.
And I think that our opinions probably differ on this.
You are a known...
I Revenge of Shinobi any day of the week.
Yeah, you're a known Revenge of Shinobi guy. I prefer 3, but I have come to a strong appreciation of Revenge. I beat Revenge last year, finally. Like, I was really scared of Revenge for a long time because I was obviously very bad at it. And I got to like the skyscraper level where there's like a lot of like security drones or something. I was really struggling with that. But then I just like that area was like no longer difficult when I went back to play the game last year. Like I don't know. Like the game clicked a lot better with me. I gotta say though, the final boss is pretty scary. Like if you don't have the POW when you get to him, I don't see how you would have enough time to beat him.
Right. Well, I mean, it took me forever to get the true ending in it.
Oh yeah, I forgot I think you can beat it even if the girl dies, right?
Yeah, you just get an ending where he's like looking out at the mountain and you see like her face and the moon. I mean, just the idea, this is a huge chunk of stone slowly coming down on her, and it hits her just like.
Yeah, you have got to play that last level and the boss like pretty much to perfection, or else you won't you won't make it.
We had a $2 from Chris. Thank you. Saying Ocarina of Time also has sensitivity problems on the Wii Virtual Console.
I mean, Mario 64 I think is a more sensitive game though. Like I feel like the control matters on it more.
Oh yeah.
Than Ocarina of Time, but yeah, I'm sure they all do, and it never really clicked with me just how bad it is. Like I've always known that Mario 64 is obviously a very precise game. I mean, I think possibly the most precise like movement of a 3D character in a third-person perspective ever. Like I feel like I just can't think of another game that gives you that fine of control over how they move. And so it's crucial.
We got $9.99 from Scott Davis. Thank you. It has been a little while. Saying, hey dudes, it's been a minute.
Whew.
I trust you all are awesome and healthy. Ready for next generation? I hope for Demon's Souls at PS5's launch and more Xbox backward compatibility like Evil Dead in 2021.
Well, I guess we're going to possibly find out a bit about the PS5 launch lineup on Wednesday.
That's right.
I'm still like assuming Ratchet & Clank is scheduled for this year. Like I definitely want to get a PS5. Like going into this year, I was definitely like, oh yeah, I'm going to get both. But now it's kind of like, that's a lot of money. So like right now, like I'm going to get one of them this year and one of them next year is my plan.
Yeah.
And like, I feel like it mostly hinges on Ratchet & Clank. Like if Ratchet & Clank is next year, I might get actually. I mean, for me, it probably sounds crazy, but I might get the Xbox first just because, like, I feel like there's more that I'm interested in doing with it in terms of, you know, Xbox One games will be better. You know, 360. I mean, I'm really interested in the backwards compatibility aspect. So, you know, even though I don't know a lot about like what's new to play on it, if anything, I couldn't just play on my One X right now. But I don't know. I'm torn. I have it on my calendar that, you know, pre-orders open, I think the 18th. I'm going to pre-order both, and then
cancel if you need to.
And then cancel, like, probably cancel one of them, unless I'm just like, I'm going to do it. But
I pretty much resigned myself to I'm like not going to buy the Xbox this year.
mm,
And I will only get the PS5 if Ratchet and Clank is a launch game.
mm,
And if not, I think I'm just going to wait. I was really spending some time thinking about all the console launches I've really taken part in. And surprisingly, not a lot. I've not been there day one on a lot of consoles.
I mean, I've done Game Boy Advance. That was my first. GameCube, DS. Well, before then, even, you know, if you want to count GBA SP, DS Lite.
I think that really counts.
Yeah.
Just
Wii, all Nintendo so far, as you've noticed. DSi, I got DSi day one because my DS Lite's sleep mode was becoming very unreliable. It was even though the battery wasn't dead, like it was just losing progress. It was shutting off. Let's see what else. From there, which came out first, Vita or PS4? Vita was first. Well, in 3DS.
yeah.
Then Vita, PS4. My PS4 arrived a day late though. FedEx dropped the ball, but I intended to be there day one. It was supposed to be.
Going for a second. I think there might be like a cricket in here or something. I mean.
Oh, also Wii U, of course. Xbox One X. I was pretty close to launch on PSP, but then I got rid of it and then got it again later. I was within the first year on PS2. And within the first few months on N64. But yeah, I mean, I just like participating in system launches. I know, like, people are generally not that excited right now because they're not really proving much with the game lineups right now. But I just think it's exciting. It's a fun thing to participate in, and you know, see how it evolved from day one. You know, I like doing it.
Let's see. I participate. Like there's like a cricket down here. I don't know where it is. I don't know if it's inside or if it's like outside against the window or something. It's kind of freaking me out. Dreamcast was my first, and Game Boy Advance, and then I mean, oh no, I guess there was PS2. I only participated in the PS2 because it was the store I worked at. There just was like one console left at the end of like the midnight launch. So I was like, I'm just gonna buy it. Then, you know, Game Boy Advance, and then I don't think I did anything until, because I missed PS3, I missed the Wii, Xbox, GameCube. I think I didn't get anything until the probably the 3DS, and then the Vita, and PS4, and that's like, and then the Switch. So that's.
Oh yeah, I forgot to mention the Switch. I did that too. I mean, I just like participating in them, you know. Oh no.
We also had a $4.99 from Brooks.
Thank you.
Thank you. Saying this week I've decided that S video is good enough for me. I don't need to have an all RGB setup. With that said, will y'all review the Tink 2X Mini? And we both just got one in the mail. We
just got them, yeah. And
yours is cool. It's red.
Yeah, mine's red. Mine looks awesome. It's very fantastic. It's going to be in the Mario 64 episode. Because, you know, obviously talking about N64, it's, you know, that's like kind of the perfect entry level option, I would say, for, you know, especially N64 fans, you know, who aren't looking to mod their system or anything like that. So, and it comes with an S video cable. I haven't tried it yet. Do you have, I can't remember. Do you have, do you have a retro access S video cable? Oh, Coury is off looking for crickets, I guess. Let's see. While Coury is away, I'll wait till he comes back to read that. Wow, look at this nerd. Whoa.
It's like in between the wall and the outside wall. Just gotta make sure it's not. It's like in between the outside wall and the ever dry wall.
I see. Oh, these enemies are dropping goodies. Maybe I should, like, kill them. I wonder if I can grind for some goodies here. Maybe I should. There was a donation. Oh, wait, no. Coury is still very concerned with crickets. But yeah, you know, I think that's a nice thing about the, you know, best way to play series. Oh, great. I lost my power-up grinding for these. Well, now I better grind until I get a 1-up because I wasted it.
We had a $2 from For Love of the Game saying, looking forward to Pocky and Rocky Reloaded and Returns, and I am super excited.
Yeah.
I'm there for any time that, what is it, like Tengu Project or whatever?
Is that the name? Yeah, I didn't realize when I first saw that information come about, I did not know it was the same dev as Reloaded and
oh yeah,
Wild Guns Reload and Ninja Savior's Return, which is, I mean, awesome news, because those games are incredible.
And you know what I like about them also is that they never need to be patched. They're always complete and never need updates.
Yeah, the only thing I don't like about them is that they have non-integer scaling, but luckily it's not really a problem with either of those games. Just because, you know, Wild Guns is very limited scrolling and Ninja Saviors is
it doesn't move very fast.
It does, yeah, the pace that it moves, the shimmering is not very visible in my opinion, but like from a game design and just like sprite art perspective, is that gonna be it? That was pretty easy. Oh, that's not it.
But yeah, I'm there day one.
Yeah, those guys do good work.
I want to talk about the kind of the crazy little find that I had on OfferUp last Monday.
Okay.
I woke up in the morning, and I don't know if
What
anybody's
is
familiar
OfferUp?
with
I'm not
OfferUp.
familiar with it.
Well, OfferUp is just kind of like an eBay, but people can, it's like local, like getting rid of stuff. You know, it's like, hey, you know, like I have this stuff. Does anyone want to buy it? Usually it's like a local, but they also do like shipping and stuff like that. But it's mainly just like, it's kind of like a get rid of your junk kind of site. If you want to make some money. So I always look for like game magazines on there because you never know what might come up, but I haven't looked in a super long time. And recently a notification popped up on my phone saying, check out what we found under local Sega games for you under this search. So I looked at it and it was like nothing good. And I looked back through my search history and I did a search for, I just like selected it. It was like, you know, game magazines. And I looked up one that was local and it's like 36 game magazines, mainly Game Pro, for pickup, you know, like right around here, but it was posted 3 months ago. And I was like, there's no way this stuff is still there. It showed a few issues of Game Pro, and they're all like really early ones. So I was very surprised. There was one with like the Addams Family on it, like a Spider-Man one. There was I don't know, like there's a couple of other ones, but they're very, very obviously from like 1991, 1990, and so on and so forth. And Game Pros, they're not like game fans where they sell for a ton on eBay, but I mean Game Pros, getting early ones they're not cheap. You know, it's gonna be like $10 for an issue.
This nerd looks like Millhouse with purple hair.
So I sent him a message saying, "Is this still available?" And he's responded almost immediately saying like, "Yeah, you want?" Like, sure. So there's 36 issues. And I ended up buying them.
It did give me a password. I was thinking it wasn't going to give me a password because of the limited continues. This is good news. I was thinking the passwords might just be for like codes or something. Okay. Let's see what happens now.
But anyways, I ended up paying $80 for these magazines, and they were originally listed at $120. So I'm like, wait, well, will you do 80 for these? I mean, I probably could have done even less, especially since it was up there for 3 months and they weren't selling. I probably could have said any price, and he would have said sure. And I went and picked them up, and it was basically out of the 36 magazines, about 30 of them were from the first 3 years of Game Pro. Like, there's an issue 1, 2, 3, just in there. I mean, I grabbed a handful of them before I came back here to kind of show what there was. But I mean, they're all in pretty good shape. I mean, it's like here's Volume 2, Number 11 with Gremlins 2 on the cover. November 89. Trying to get him in the camera. So, I mean, there's a lot of stuff in here. Like, there's a Simpsons. So, I mean, it's just, I felt like it was kind of a good deal. And I mean, Game Pro isn't like an amazing magazine, but one of the things I like about it is that there seems to be like a lot more ads in Game Pro,
which was annoying at the time, maybe, but interesting now.
But now it's kind of nice seeing this stuff.
Oh no,
it is useful. Specific make and model of the magazine bags and boards. Yeah, I don't know. I just got the ones that are for magazines on Amazon, but I think they are BCW. But I mean, just stuff like this, it's just cool to have. I mean, and this is like the time that I read GamePro, was like when it was new. But I mean, there's like 30 of them in there. I couldn't believe it. And there was one issue of Game Players and 3 issues of Sega Visions. And I think that was it. But I feel like I got a pretty good deal for the $80. I probably could have gone lower. And I didn't even know everything that was there, so everything that I got, I was like, I can't believe this is in here. Right, Gerald, it's totally like I just read GamePro. Probably it was probably one of my lesser favorites. But the main reason I read it is because I read like every other game magazine that was out at the time. Right, I was insatiable for information. Seriously, I mean, I every month I would buy like 5 magazines. That's a lot of money every month. When they're, like $4 or $5 each.
Did you never have a subscription?
I had an EGM subscription for a while.
I mean, I'm sure that was cheaper. I mean, I had Nintendo Power. I'm sure it was cheaper to have the subscription.
Definitely. 100%. But I don't know. I just didn't. I guess I loved going to the grocery store and getting the new issue. It's always something. It's always going to be something every week, I guess. But a lot of them have, posters and stuff in it. Like I'll open this one here, this Simpsons one. Look at this guy here in the back. But really, I mean, the ads, they seem like they were different ads than you got in other magazines, too. Even looking at it now.
Well, they probably, since they were pretty big, right?
I feel like they were one of the more popular ones.
Right. So they likely got like some deals where like they would make a unique ad for it just because they were big enough,
Right. But it was a fun. I can't believe that they were still on there. That guy still had them.
I mean, how many people are looking for old gaming magazines?
I don't know, but I feel like
it's like a niche within a niche, though.
And being up there for 3 months is eventually would have gotten taken by now. Yeah, I love going through old magazines. I have this big filing cabinet back there that is like almost full at this point of game magazines. But yeah, I mean, for people like us, saying for nut jobs like us that read multiple mags on GamePro would not be the best. Much preferred EGM or Game Informer. I actually never read Game Informer. It was not available in my area.
Yeah, it surprised me to hear like, talking to people like you and others that were really much more deeply into game magazines than I was, because I was Nintendo only for a long time, so like it just made sense to read. To me, it made sense to read, about what I had,
Yeah.
So it surprised me though to hear like Game Informer not that well read or that popular, because like that was the one that I most often did read that wasn't Nintendo powered, just because, you know, a friend of mine had it, you know. So I would read Game Informer a fair bit. I think it was offered through Funko Land.
Yeah.
I see that there was a $7.77 donation. Now I'm guessing that was from Seven Kurgan.
Yeah. Saying, Coury, I can't recall. Do you have Elemental Gearbolt in your working design collection? If so, can you one day stream the game? The game has some really good music. I think I could definitely do that.
Sounds like a good stream.
I do have it. I have one of every working designs game. I don't have all the variants, but I do have one copy of each. Thank you. I will definitely do that. It's been a long time since I've done light gun stream. I don't know how I would do it in this new space.
I can do it pretty easily.
I'd have to be sitting down probably.
I have a monitor. You know, it's actually the one that is in the background during my on-cam segment for Analog Frontiers Part 1. And it would actually I could probably do like PS2 component on it. But some things like NES would have to be composite on it, but you know, that's not a big deal. But like I had this, you know, part of the idea of putting that on that tall stand was, you know, play Lycon games standing up. And actually there is a shot, I think, in Analog Frontiers Part 1 of, you know, I'm playing Time Crisis 2 on that. Gotcha.
We got a $5 donation from Eric Schussler. Thank you. Saying, I watched the 30-day song challenge and didn't expect the FF8 slander from Coury. Forgettable? Who could forget the majesty of the Balam Garden theme?
I mean, I think it might be my favorite Final Fantasy soundtrack.
I think in a lot of ways, my feelings on FF8 revolve around the fact that its thunder was immediately taken away by the Dreamcast launch the following day.
Oh, I guess if you were getting Dreamcast, yeah.
I mean, yeah. It came out the day before the Dreamcast.
But see, you know, my friend who picked up FF8 day one, you know, he eventually got a Dreamcast not that long later, but he was all about picking up FF8, you know, day one.
Yeah. I mean, I did. It just, I don't know. At the time, and I probably would feel differently now if I went back and played it, because I do want to replay it. Mm-hmm. And one of the things that makes it so appealing and makes me want to play it is that apparently how easy it is to break, which makes I would like to break it and just like play through and enjoy the story.
A lot of people did not understand the junctioning system, you know,
because I'm not a
I'm like
really
it.
Not a fan of games that the enemies level with you.
No, that's the game's biggest weakness, but you know, I feel like that really bothered me before I really played the game, but it's not that big of a deal, honestly.
You know, it's really funny just looking at my on camera there in the corner. Mm-hmm. You can really see, like, after a week of like only a week, that if I let my hair grow, it'd definitely be gray. Look at that. I mean, you can tell that it's like it's grayish.
I was on a call with you, John, and Adi earlier, and y'all were like freaking out about my beard, but you can see in this light, like it's not as like the lights were off, so that was just like enhancing how dark it was. Like it's not. I mean, it is some of the scruffier I've been, but it's not like in this light. It's nowhere near as obvious as it was when I was on that call earlier. You know?
Yeah. Games that scale with you are terrible, as Lord X Mugen is saying.
I mean,
I hate it.
I
Like
think
I
it's-
gotta let you know is the Lunar on the PS1 is like that.
Well, it's a noble goal. I think, and I don't think it's always bad, but on the whole, I would say it's probably preferable for games to not do that. But I understand where they're coming from, and I think it's been done decently, but it does not ruin FF8 by any means.
Yeah, I
You
mean,
know, I wouldn't say that I wouldn't say games that do that are terrible, but would they have been improved if they just, you know, were balanced to not need that? You know, maybe so.
yeah. I mean, like that's definitely a pet peeve of mine, of things that I like a thing that I don't like in games. It's right up there with up to jump.
Oh, I don't know if it's that bad. But I think when
Up to
you,
jump is
I
like
think if
one
you
of
go
my
back to
least
play the
favorites.
game, you'll find you're not even really thinking about that,
Well,
the
I mean,
leveling with you.
Right, because I mean, level doesn't really have much to do with anything.
It's all about junctioning and,
right,
you know,
which is you know makes
maybe
it
they should have
appealing.
taken levels out like they did with Chrono Trigger. Or not Chrono Trigger, Chrono Cross.
Right. But I mean, I do want to replay it, but I think that having the Dreamcast launch right away afterwards, that's too busy taking in that Soul Calibur.
I mean, there's one. I mean, I'm sure people have problems with lots of plot points in the game, but there's like one specific plot point that people, I won't spoil you since I don't think you remember, and I'd be curious to get a real reaction from you on it. But there's one plot point people always talk about how they don't like.
I know what it is. I mean, I still remember, even if people didn't talk about it. You're talking about the Guardian Forces. Like,
well, it's related to that.
They all knew each other like years ago. Like,
right? That they knew each other. Yeah. That never bothered me.
Really? I mean, for me, it was like, ugh.
Even
at the time, it was definitely obnoxious.
My thing with that has always been like, I feel like Sid kind of planned it. So like, because of that, like it doesn't bother me.
Yeah. Is Sid in Final Fantasy VIII the one that wears the sweater vest?
Yes.
That's sweater vest Sid? Okay.
Yeah. He's one of my favorite Sids, even though he's one of the less traditional ones. I really want to get those crystals, but that is super hard to do. It's probably not going to be worth it. I've got 21 lives somehow, though. They definitely hand out lives pretty freely in the regular levels, which are really short.
Dustin Kramer's saying that we should do a no-shave November.
I mean, my shaving usually is more often than not motivated by I need to be on camera.
Yeah. But I mean, as long as I can cut my hair, I'm not gonna let my hair grow out because, like, it's not even worth it. It's gonna look stupid no matter what I do. And I don't want to see how gray it is when it's reached a actual fully visible to the naked eye length. A good portion of my chest hair is whitish and grayish at times.
At times.
I don't know. I just in general though, I think that I do look young. I think that it was somebody earlier in the stream was saying that, or so in previous streams,
There was
someone
some
they thought
time.
that you were older than me.
Yeah.
And I'm like significantly older than you.
Yeah. I don't know if that says more good about you or bad about me.
Yeah. I mean, we were talking about this because when we were talking about Mario 64, and I said, I was going into my senior year when Mario 64 released, or I just started my senior year of high school, and you're like, oh, I was like in middle school or something.
Yeah, I mean, I was my elementary school went through to 6th grade, so like I remember Mario RPG coming out like the end of 6th grade, and N64 came out around the beginning of 7th grade. I remember looking at, before I had Nintendo Power, I remember looking at Nintendo 64 stuff in 6th grade and a Nintendo Power that a friend brought into class. I think it was a Nintendo Power. I was just like, eh. Like, I mean, a lot of it was like, I hadn't had a Super Nintendo for that long. And I was just like, like, like 16 bits is plenty. Like, who needs more than that? I don't think I don't think you can get much better than 16 bits. And today I think a lot of people would agree with that. But obviously once I actually played it in September, my opinion changed a lot. But
for those asking, I'm 41. I'll be 42 in December. I was born at the very end of 1978. But we had a little kind of an interesting conversation. I will get into that after this. But we did have a donation from Bag of Schmidt. Thank you for $2, saying, have you guys ever streamed a Gimmick, the best NES game hands down?
Well, sadly, neither of us has it. But I mean, obviously, we could stream it. But
well, there's like a remake of it that came out for the Exa Arcadia arcade.
Oh, that's right.
Looks very good from what I've seen. It's
I forgot about that.
It looks like a 16-bit version.
I saw someone saying try 35 over under. You basically nailed it. I just turned 36 last month.
I'm already into 40 now. But we were talking about Mario 64, and that came out just as I was, I was in my senior year of high school, and I was really, really into RPGs at that point. And I wasn't sure if Final Fantasy VII had been announced as being on the PlayStation at that point. I mean, maybe someone else in the chat would be able to triangulate that time better, but I wasn't sure.
Wait a second. When I spin jump, am I attacking?
Maybe. Is that a game changer for you?
Well, for finding this boss, it might be. Well, that hurt.
But I feel like I was very lucky to be born when I was, but also it caused me to miss out on certain things. Like I did not play Mario 64 because as someone who had a Sega CD, I was thinking like, oh, cartridges, that's not the future. When I buy a system, it's going to be a PlayStation. But it's as soon as Final Fantasy VII was announced for the PS1, I didn't even think for a second that I was gonna play or own an N64 at all. Period.
You did get one eventually, though, didn't you?
I did. Oh, I got one when Zelda came out.
Okay.
But it's just kind of interesting because I feel like I was old enough at that time to experience and to know to play certain things that I wouldn't have if I was younger. Like I was there to play like Chrono Trigger day one.
Yeah.
I was very lucky to have that experience. But like I skipped out on Mario 64, and also like I was just like too old for Pokemon, another game that is like hugely influential today. but I just never played it because I was in college.
Right. Which
So
that you know, something that I often say is that, you know, whoa, wait, I got the bats all in one shot when they were all together.
speed running tactic right there.
Yeah. But yeah, what were we talking about?
About how I missed out on certain.
Oh yeah, well,
things
like with
because I was maybe too old at the time, but I
Pokemon.
was
With Pokemon, I feel like oh, why are we going in here? With Pokemon, I feel like, you know, obviously nowadays, like, Pokemon has been around for people's entire lives, or at least lives that they can remember,
Oh, yeah.
you know? So I don't think there's any shame in people liking Pokemon in high school, middle school, college. I mean, I could be wrong, but I would like to think there's no shame in it today. Like back in those days, like Pokemon was so new, and I was like right on the age threshold for it. And like my friends who were gamers got it, but my friends who weren't so much gamers, like I never told them that I played Pokemon, because the way it was marketed is this, like, you know, more of a mass media, you know, anime, which, you know, back then, you know, that was just a kid's cartoon.
But I mean, like I
thought,
watched some anime back then.
Oh, sure, but back then, though, I think most people would have thought of it as a kid's cartoon. Or
I mean, yeah, I mean,
but,
it was marketed like that and pitched it like that
sure,
for the longest time.
And
I mean, I think that I mean, that made sense. I mean, that was like and those are the people that continue to play it.
Mm-hmm.
And those people that play it now are either new or they played it back then. I'd be curious to see the amount of people that were the age that I was
who got
like
into
started
it.
playing it in college. I know that someone in the chat just said, "Oh, I played it back then because I borrowed it from my girlfriend at the time's little brother." And I mean, I could see in certain situations, but I mean, if you didn't have anybody to borrow it from, then would you have ever played it? I mean, and what would you think of it now?
Yeah.
See, Old Pixel Champion is saying I was 17 when Pokemon came out. As a gamer who loved JRPGs, it was right up my alley, and you know, I loved them too. But I was like, I think that even 17 and I would have been in my when did it come out? 99 or 98?
I think in the U.S. I think it was 98.
It was probably like September. I think it was September of 98. So that would have put me in my second year of college, I guess.
Yeah. And the marketing was, I mean, you know, obviously I played a lot of games that were, you know, quote unquote kid focused, you know, but
so did I.
Yeah. But Pokemon was different. You know what I mean? Like you know, that perception just, I think people that age weren't really ready for it and didn't know what to make of it.
Right.
And I was
even
just,
as somebody who had played a lot of RPGs at that point, like a lot, probably more than like other people who.
What?
Oh.
What?
Stream is spinning here. What's your favorite?
I haven't dropped any frames. Everything looks like it's going strong here.
Okay. Must have just been me then. I mean, even as somebody who like played a lot of RPGs and probably more RPGs than like
most people.
I mean,
RPGs were not
fans, I guess, at the time.
RPGs, you know, I mean, you were playing RPGs before Final Fantasy VII, so I know that's not necessarily like the be-all, end-all, like badge of honor or anything, but I think that means something still, you know?
Yeah. And I mean, it just meant that Pokemon was not something that I was all that interested in.
And it might have looked, another thing too, it may have to
I didn't have a
looked
Game
like
Boy either. I didn't have a system to play it on.
Mm-hmm.
So,
no, I mean, there's that'll
right
do
there is a big part of that.
I don't know why I'm struggling with this level. This should not be hard.
And I guess even with Final Fantasy VII having come out the year before, I was like, oh, I don't need this. I don't need to play this.
Yeah, I mean, it probably you probably thought it was like too much of a kid's RPG or a beginner's RPG, and it wouldn't have the story that you were looking for and stuff like that, which it didn't. Yeah. It didn't.
Mm-hmm. So I guess the moral of the story is that I have talked before about the experience that I had with my kids back in like April or March or April, where we played a copy of Pokemon Snap that I got at Goodwill, and we just like had the best time because my kids are way in the Pokemon in the Pokemon right now, and this seemed like something that I could play it with them, and I basically play, and then they, like they just get really excited about everyone that pops up, and it was just a lot of fun. So this whole homeschooling thing has not been easy. It's hard to keep them on task. So, hang on. As a way to try to get them to get their stuff done and behave for most of the day, I said, if you do that, then we will play through the new Pokemon game together. So I went and I bought Pokemon Sword.
Nice.
To play it with them. They don't know I have it yet. And I felt like this might be something that would be more approachable for me to be able to play it with them, just like a couple hours a day.
Mm-hmm.
Like basically I would be controlling and they just like are just telling me what to do, and I can like I can have my daughter who can read, like she can read the story out loud, and it helps her practice.
And like I told you, it
feels like something that I would be okay playing.
Yeah, and that one it's not a bad starting point because I know the hardcore Pokemon fans have their issues with it, but for someone like me who I played Gen 1 and then I got back into it at Gen 4, played Gen 6, and then the current gen. And, for me, like remembering the Pokemon, remembering the types and everything, like it's a lot. It's tough. The nice thing is once you've defeated a Pokemon one time in Sword and Shield, like you then know its type, even if you like can't remember it yourself, and it will show you when you're selecting your moves whether that move is effective or not.
Yeah. I mean, it just seems streamlined enough. Can you duck when that? You're supposed to. You keep on dying on that part.
I know. I'm. Okay, I made it. It's just very, very little wiggle room.
I just feel like this is something that would be approachable for me, who's never been able to get into the series in any way.
Oops.
And also be able to not be so grind heavy or difficult that it can be fairly breezy with them as well. I mean, that's what I'm.
And like you can save anytime, so that's good for that.
Yeah. So I mean, I think
the field areas are really straightforward. There's one open area. Like I thought the whole game was going to be very open, but there's really just one area that's that way.
I mean, I just think it'd be fun. It'd just be fun to do that with them. So we'll see how it goes. I'm going to try to use it as a way to get them to stay on task. And, like after it would be a good way to wind down with like a little bit of activity. But the way that I made it sound, so I'm like, listen, you guys, this is gonna be both up to both of you. If one of you causes a big issue, you're gonna lose. You're gonna lose it for both of you. So
you gotta play it together.
Yeah.
So I see Sheepy Tina in the chat saying I'm here for the Gen 4 hate. I've always liked Gen 4 because it was the one that brought me back to it, for the first time since Gen 1. So I've always liked it. I'm not into the greater, metagame or whatever you would say about Pokemon. Like I just play through it and beat it, so I really liked Gen 4 just because it brought me those feelings of what I enjoyed about Gen 1 so much. It brought back, I was like, I remember why I liked this. I skipped out Gen 2 because I got really frustrated with like all the N64 games that were just like, I know a lot of people love Pokemon Snap, but I didn't really like it that much. And Stadium didn't interest me at all. And I was just like, this series is just like becoming a cash grab or something. I lost interest. I saw Wigglytuff as one of the new Pokemon introduced for the second gen. I'm just like, Wigglytuff, Pineco, I'm out. Now, but then when I actually played Heart Gold or Soul Silver, which one do I think I have Soul Silver.
I'm just hoping that all of our favorite Pokemons are in this version. Because I know they're not all in it.
Right.
I don't know who my son's favorite Pokemon is, but I think my daughter likes Litten. It's like the kitten with a fiery tail or something. Hopefully that one's in this. More importantly, my favorite is Snorlax. I hope Snorlax is in this.
I'm pretty sure. Yeah, I think you might even like. I think you basically get a Snorlax in that one. I can't remember for sure, but you might.
We got a €5 from the Bay.
Ooh, what's this?
Thank you.
Creepy.
Saying, how does a PVM stack up against an old PC CRT monitor for retro consoles with a VGA converter? Is this potentially a video worth making?
Yeah, it's definitely something I want to do a video on. It can be very, very good. Like you use an OSSC with scan lines. It looks quite good.
You have the PC monitor. I should have gotten
one.
You
need a PC monitor. I've got two.
I don't even know where
I'd
put it at this point, though. Yeah, Snorlax is my favorite. I mean, it's. I think a lot of it comes from like when it was pretty new. I remember someone telling me that they thought that I reminded them of Snorlax. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. I think it was meant to like not be a good thing at the time, but looking back on it, I feel like it's.
You feel kinship with Snorlax.
Yeah. Oh, is this Boss Rush?
No, I haven't fought this. Like that's just that little demon guy has just been kind of a recurring thing, sort of. I think this might be the real big bad. I'm not sure. But I don't know if this is going to be the last form because he hasn't. Oh, yeah. Munchlax was introduced later, though. He was not in the first generation.
That's a pretty good observation, Dustin. The Munchlax and Snorlax represent the last two stages of getting baked. All they need is a pre-evolution called Smokelax.
Oh no.
But there's also another one that my daughter likes. It's what is it? It's a Gen 1. It's like the one that looks kind of like the Loch Ness monster.
Oh, Lapras.
Yeah.
Seems I've got to beat.
I mean, we're gonna see how it goes. I don't really know what to expect. I feel like it's gonna be pretty approachable, though.
Yeah.
I think you made it seem like it'll be pretty approachable for me and a good way to experience that.
Yeah.
Like maybe we'll have some fun and maybe I'll come out of it liking Pokemon. I guess we'll see. And, for all the people saying like, oh, it's missing all this stuff
like
from previous, I look at that as
a good thing.
as a good thing because then it's not so overwhelming.
Yeah. I really don't care about that stuff. I mean, the one thing I will say about Sword and Shield though is that it feels short on ambition. I kind of expected more out of the first home console proper Pokemon game, I guess. It feels like it started on 3DS. The world geometry is very, very simple. But I mean, I liked it overall. I mean, it's funny because I feel like I've skipped the generations people like the best. Just because of how I got back into it. When I got back in it with Gen 4, I kind of went a little Pokemon crazy for a while. And I got Emerald and Fire Red and Soul Silver. And I was kind of sick of it again. I was like, I'm just going to I was like, I'm just gonna
This is the last boss right here.
It's gotta be.
There's a $5 donation from Eric Schussler. Thank you, saying, you guys ever played Ace Attorney? I just got through the circus case in Justice for All, and I want to die. You're a big fan. I have the collection on Switch that I imported.
That's probably the least fun case in the series. The third, or well, the third that's the third case, right? And that one, that's usually the weak one in most of the games. I'm a huge fan of the series, though. I feel like the third one's the strongest overall. Puts a nice cap on, a nice bow on that trilogy. I feel though the 4 and onwards, there's usually a case that I like less in most of the games, but I feel like with 4, 5, and 6, there's they're all pretty even quality. I don't know if they always get to the heights of the original trilogy, but I feel like they're very even in quality overall. So they're all good. I like them all a lot.
Yeah, I mean, I bought the collection. I didn't play any of them. I did, however, play Ghost Trick.
Oh, recently or way back?
Way back.
Yeah. Oh, Ghost Trick is maybe the greatest story in a video game ever, and the ending makes me cry the happiest tears of joy.
I think it's kind of expensive now.
Is it really? Oh, it's so good.
I don't know why I got rid of it. I feel like that was one of my trades on that. I've talked about it before. That one site called Goozex,
that sounds
where you can trade in games and you get points that you can buy games from other people. Yeah, English is on the import.
Yeah, in fact, if you, at least the Switch version, I don't know about any other version, But if you put in a an English language switch, it actually says on your Switch dashboard, Ace Attorney Trilogy. It doesn't say Gyaku and Saiben or whatever.
Yeah, I got rid of too many good things on Guzak. I wish I didn't. Probably like after Ghost Trick, the most notable thing that I got rid
of Ghost Trick. I mean,
gosh,
like
Lodos War on the Dreamcast. I don't know why.
Ghost Trick is so good. I still think it's funny that the Ace Attorney director, the director of Dino Crisis 2, of all things. Shu Takumi.
Well, as soon as I finish with Dragon Quest, I think that Dragon Quest is going to be my last RPG for a little bit. I have a lot of stuff that I've wanted to play that I'll finally get around to. I mean, honestly, I played a surprising number of RPGs this year. It doesn't make me. It makes me feel like I can play any RPG.
Yeah, I mean,
if you set up your time where it's like, okay, I will play like maybe an hour or two a night.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you can get, if you just like dedicate like an hour or two an evening, if you're not doing other things, then you can get through like 10-15 hour games in like a week or so.
Yeah. Lately I've found myself much more okay with just like putting on a game for just a very short period of time. Like, I've traditionally been like, I want all the planets and stars and moons to align and, this perfect situation where it's like, I can play this uninterrupted all evening. That's silly, but I've always like wanted a big chunk of time to play a game. Like more recently, I've just been like,
that's not super possible.
Well, and not just that, like, I don't know. I've just been like okay with it. I've been like, like it's an hour before bed. I'm gonna play an hour of the game I'm working on. Like in the past, like if I only had like an hour, I'd be like, it's not even worth doing anything. But like I've found my attitude on that changing. I'm much more likely to just play a game.
Yep. Lord X Mugen is saying, I want more 2 to 3 hour games. And I agree with that. But I mean, if you look at a lot of older games, like
this,
try it. If he beats this, I mean, this is like a 2.5 hour game. A lot of old games are actually a couple hours, but you can't. It takes several nights to finish them, or several play sessions to finish them in that amount of time. I don't know. Like I've been thinking about like my end of year list, as we always do. Like now that we're almost excuse me, almost to fall. And it's weird. Like I was thinking about what game have I played that is really stuck with me. And like the game that I've thought the most about, and that has kind of played this kind of weird recurring role in my life because like I just like the music, was was Sayonara Wild Hearts, which is like an hour-long game.
Oh, I didn't know that was this year you played it.
Yeah, I mean it's very possible that is going to be the game that I feel like is my favorite game that I played all year.
Wow.
Because it's just like it's like stayed with me like a weird amount like than I would have ever expected. And you know, like I found myself like listening to like the soundtrack just like as I'm driving, and like mainly like the vocal tracks, but I don't know, it's just like it really it worked for me.
For me, like, I mean, you know, there's still time for it to change, but like, I feel like my game of the year right now is going to be Animal Crossing, which I never would have thought I would have felt that way. Okay, I can hit them from like really.
But
down
that's
low.
true. When I bought Pokemon, I also bought Tony Hawk. I have not spent a ton of time with it, but it's just as good as everybody is saying. And this is I played it a ton when I was younger and when it came out. But I mean, in a lot of ways, the third game was probably where I really hit my stride with it. That was definitely my favorite one. So maybe, you know, I like reached a new level of ability in the game with the third one. I never went back to the first or second one. So, Dramata, you all have a soundtrack that you probably listened to more than you played the game. Yeah, probably Sayonara Wild Hearts.
Yeah,
for sure. I've definitely listened to the soundtrack.
Oh, sure.
Like, more than I've listened to than I played the game.
Yeah, I mean, you know, lately, like the past few years, like if I find myself just like randomly like putting in a CD, which is not something I do that often, but sometimes, you know, I put in one of these newer Kirby soundtracks. I mean, I've only beaten them one time each, but you know what I was thinking about streaming just for fun sometime is I'm pretty sure all of the newer Kirby games have like a hard mode. I was like, you know, I should do the hard mode in Kirby's Return to Dreamland on stream sometime. Like I probably wouldn't finish it, but just do that.
Yeah.
That one I've actually played twice, but Triple Deluxe, Robobot, and Star Allies have only done one time each. Hey, Sandy, I see you down there. What's your problem?
Henry Clark is saying, Sayonara is waiting on my queue sealed. I mean, the game is an hour long. As long as you don't like go for like perfect, like collecting everything in each level. I mean, you can play it from beginning to end. You can experience the story in 1 hour.
Sandy, what's your problem?
And it might not do anything for you. You might be like, oh, seems like a silly rhythm game, but it's kind of a rhythm game, but also not. It's just the music works really good for if you like the kind of music in it.
Hang on, I'm going to take Sandy out. I think she might need to poop.
All right.
You need to go poop.
Yeah, Canadian Fuzzy, I was the same way. I love playing Tony Hawk Pro Skater 3. And I just never went back to 1 and 2 after that. So playing this new one is kind of a whole like revelation. Golden Cane, really? Oh, you did QA. You did QA on that game for more than a month. Yeah, I mean, it just really has stuck with me since playing it, and it's been months now. I probably listened to the soundtrack more than like almost anything else in recent months. $4.99 donation from Scotter140 saying, "Oh hey, I just realized this was live. Thought I was watching something old. Nope, this is It's really happening. But yeah, I watched John Lenneman's video on 1 and 2, and hearing him talk about it even outside of the video, I was like, man, I gotta play it. So when I was at Target getting Pokemon, I saw it there, and I'm like, I'm gonna have to do it. Yeah, the soundtrack is good. I was hoping for. It's interesting because they got like a lot of the same bands, but have different songs by them. It was $40 at Target, but it was. I'm kind of sad that they don't have the same Zebrahead song in it. Out of all the music in Tony Hawk, I probably listened to Zebrahead the most. I think I saw them like 3 times.
that is something that I've literally never even heard of.
What, Zebrahead?
Yeah.
Oh, no, I mean most. They're really big in Japan.
Oh, okay. I mean, I haven't heard of most things, but
they like one of the main. Like the main singer was left the band in gosh, it must have been like 2003 or 4 or something like that, and I didn't really like anything that they did afterwards. When I was in college, I mean, MFZB was one of my most listened to. Doesn't sound good. That cricket is whatever it's doing is moving closer.
Oh
it's
no!
Like right over here now. I feel like it's gonna work its way over here, and it's gonna be out of here, and it's gonna be
a traumatic experience.
Yeah. It was at the very end of the room before, but now it's like over here, like at my TV. It's okay. I got a whole stack of magazines to kill it with.
I can beat this guy.
Oh, okay. So that song was in Tony Hawk Pro Skater 3. Hang on, I'm gonna go look to see if I can find it.
I like how much easier this guy is this time than the first time. I was doing better not getting hit flying him before, though. I really want to beat... I've done it at least once or twice where I beat the first 2 bosses without getting hit. I mean, that should be very reasonable. This guy especially is... There's not much excuse to getting hit other than being very careless. Is it confirmed that PS5 and Xbox Series X games are $70? I haven't really heard. I remember that coming up like a long time ago, and I wasn't sure if it. I don't remember hearing about that since. But you know, most games, other than Nintendo games, which don't really go down in price anyway, you know, I tend to like AAA stuff goes down in price pretty fast. Fast enough for me anyway. Ah, can't jump like that. This is very doable. But yeah, I mean, you consider though, I mean, that was a lot of games cost that price decades ago. And that was a lot more money back then.
All right, I got it.
Oh, you found it.
Yeah.
There was a donation while you were away.
Oh, from John Perry G. Thank you. $2.
Thank you.
Saying, what do you guys do with the donation money? Well, all super chats just go into the.
It just adds to YouTube revenue.
Yeah, it just goes into the YouTube revenue, which Try and I split 50-50.
Yeah, I mean it's our salary. You know, and to be honest, streams have been a pretty significant part of. I mean, you know, compared to just ad revenue.
Yeah.
I mean, ad revenue, you know, not necessarily so hot.
Yeah.
So it goes a long ways to justifying our time.
Yeah.
It's, you know, it's actually become a not, streaming has become a not insignificant part of our salaries, really. So we appreciate that contribution hugely. Which, I mean, and you know, and then obviously, I mean, we haven't really been able to do it yet, but you know, stuff like Patreon and, you know, everything really, you know, also goes into a pool that, you know, if if we're fortunate enough to actually have more money than our salaries, which is like never. But in theory, that is, you know, that is kept in the bank, you know, for, you know, travel costs, equipment costs, stuff like that. I mean, to be entirely honest, when we buy equipment and stuff, like, in theory, you know, that comes from a pool of money that is, you know, beyond our salary. But the reality of it is we can't even pay our salaries. So usually buying too much equipment and too many things reduces salaries. So
yeah,
that's the YouTube life for you.
There was I don't know what CA is. Is that
Canada.
Canadian bucks?
Canadian bucks.
$12.34 from Vibe Mecca.
Thank
you. Saying rank the top 4 PlayStations. I'll say 1, 2, 4, 3.
Yeah, you know, it's so interesting because I feel like 3 was like the first time that I was like, you know what, I like the cut of your jib, Sony. Like I am not just begrudgingly owning your system anymore. But at the same time, like it's the one I've had the least interest in recent years, in part because I kept up with it really well and, you know, bought a lot of games for it. But it was but yeah, I mean, I would say my ranking would be similar to yours overall, even though
there's like a ton of donations here, like all in a row. There's $5 from Venacera saying, you guys are the best, heart, heart, heart. Thank you. There's 5 from Shadow Mask saying, hype train, tip your gamers. Thank you. Then there was $20 from I'm gonna mess up your last name. I'm really sorry, Chris Kakaturian, saying I just want to show my support. Continue the amazing work.
Well, thank you.
We'll do our best. $5 from Chad Wolf, saying, is the RGB FrameMeister Mini going to be discontinued? It's still available on the website. I'm wondering if I should buy it now before it goes away. It is discontinued.
Yeah,
it is discontinued.
You know, people have been talking about how much money it is lately. Does Solaris Japan still offer it for like the normal price, or has it gone up?
No. It's up there on Solaris now. I think it's like $500, $600.
Oh wow. Yeah.
There was a $5 donation from Joshua Helmicky saying, I second that statement.
Yeah, I mean, I would not get a FrameMeister now, to be perfectly honest. I mean, it is still a good device if that is what you have. Like, you shouldn't feel bad about owning a FrameMeister. Unless you want to sell your FrameMeister. I know someone in our Patreon sold their FrameMeister for a profit over what they originally paid for it, you know. Because, you know, maybe you want to use an OSSC or another device now. But of course, the OSSC can't do 480i as well as the FrameMeister. The FrameMeister is still the 480i king. But hopefully that will not always be the case. But it is entirely feasible. You can sell a FrameMeister for a profit on eBay. Right.
You got these donations are insane right now. There's $2 Canadian from Jeffrey Smith saying CAD train. So maybe Canadian
dollar train.
Thank you.
I'll take your loonies and your toonies.
Saying love you guys from Eric Schussler. Thank you. Hang on. There's jeez. Then there's $5 Canadian from Tony Montana. Taking a little bit of time from his time in Miami, Florida. Thank you. With no message. There's $19.99 from our good friend Sean Quinn saying, I'm playing a Metal Gear Solid game for the first time. Obviously, I'm a little bit late to the party. What game or series would people be surprised that you haven't played? I mean, I own a bunch of them, but I haven't played them. Fire Emblem.
Oh, yeah. You know, I was just saying earlier today, like, I haven't beaten it. I mean, I've played a good bit of Fire Emblem 1 on both the GBA and the Super Nintendo, but I've never finished it. And I haven't beaten any of the others. That's maybe, but like in terms of like something super popular, like gosh, I probably own like you know, you have a bunch of Fire Emblems, haven't played them. I probably own a bunch of some things that like some series, like Halo. I haven't, like I've played like an hour of Halo 1.
Yeah. I mean, I guess Pokemon would make sense for me too.
Halo would be a big one for me. Though I need to play through that series.
I'll have to think about what else there was. I mean, I'm sure there's plenty of other ones. There's $2 from Miles Kirsch. Thank you, saying almost CAD train Buffalo, New York. I mean, I lived in Buffalo for a while. I grew up in Jamestown, so not very far from here. There is 50.
Whoa.
This is insane, guys. 50 reals from Pedroca Severo saying, let's see who can top me, people. Well, gee, this is out of control here. There's $5 Canadian from Golden Cane. Thank you, saying love channels. You guys have introduced me to so many great stories I wouldn't have tried. So many series I wouldn't have tried otherwise, such as Ease, which I now adore.
Oh.
RGB art. Well, I mean, Ease, it's a good one. I mean, how many have you played at this point?
I need to play a lot more. I mean, I've played Oath and Felghana, 1 and 2, Celceta, and 7.
Kyostin like became a member with a really cool avatar with 3D glasses on.
Nice.
There is a 1999 donation from A Train 9000 saying, "This is for." I'm assuming it means Sandy. This is for Sandy and Sandy only.
How much was it?
1999.
Oh, I could get a box of greenies for that.
A Train. It makes you happy. It makes me wonder if anybody is watching The Boys on Amazon. $9.99 from our good friend Sean Quinn saying "Mo money, mo game." Thank you. $5 from Jumada saying, "Here's some money to keep making the funny." Also on topic of soundtracks, I want to shout out my love for the Celeste soundtrack.
That was really good, yeah.
Which I have not played yet.
There's a Patreon person in our Discord channel that has the main character from Celeste as their avatar, and I like every time I read what they write, I can't not hear those squeaky like character sounds that they make in the game when they talk.
There's $2 from Aaron Welch saying four more for Sandy only.
What can I get for Sandy only for $4? That
just get into this now. There was $100 from Super Guy 88.
Super Guy.
Thank you. Saying boom, keep the donations coming, friends. You guys are awesome.
Well, thank you.
This is out of control. This is like never happened.
I thought I was having a hard time keeping up last week.
Well, thank you, Super Guy. Thank you.
You are a super guy.
Yeah, Supra.
Supra guy.
There's $2 from John Perry G saying, "You see what my donation questions started." Thank you, John Perry G. There is $5 from Jamie White with no message, but thank you. $4.99 from James Schindler saying, if Vicarious Visions were to continue remaking Tony Hawk games, how far do you think they should go? Love the channel. That's such a tough question because I feel like 4 was such a change in the style with the more open world that I can't see them doing 3 and 4 as its own standalone game. It would make more sense if they did like 4 plus like Underground 1 and 2, and that's the only ones I really know about after that. I mean, I don't know I don't know any more after that point. So I think that by only doing 1 and 2 in this package, they put themselves in a tough situation. I think they probably should have done like 1, 2, and 3 if they could have, and then did like 4 and Thug 1 and 2 in a collection. Hang on, I have to scroll up here. There is a $5 donation from Jay Gray.
Thank you.
Just $5 with a smiley face. Thank you. $2 from Lucas Peruzovich saying, "Try if I refit my DMG Game Boy. I refit my DMG Game Boy because of your video."
Well,
it's so interesting watching, certain like different people's reactions to it, because some people are saying, this is,
I don't want one anymore.
This made me want to do it even more. And other people saying like, this talked me out of it.
Right. And I'm so happy to see that reaction, because that tells me that I gave people enough information to make a decision, which was what I was going for. I wasn't out to say, these are crappy. I was saying, like, here are maybe some of the issues that you haven't seen talked about as much, just be informed if you're making a decision, and, maybe you're, not crazy like me and actually and bothered by these things. You know, I think that's great. And, you know, like a lot of people say, it's an upgrade over the original no matter what. And in a lot of ways, I think you're right. But, you know, just know what you're getting into and what issues to look out for. And most of the time, you probably won't see anything, actually.
There was 500 yen from Cheesemeister.
Oh,
thank you. Saying, shut up and take my money.
Well, I'll save those 500 yens for next time we somehow ever get to go to Japan again. That'll be spent right in Akihabara.
There's $4.99 from A Train 9000 saying, here's an extra 5 for getting Sandy's name wrong. My apologies. Thank you. A lot of people saying The Boys is amazing. Yeah, I've been, you know, honestly, I'm really enjoying the weekly release versus like an all at once thing. I don't know, like there's something nice knowing that, you know, you can set aside an hour in a week to watch this instead of like saying, oh, I gotta watch these over the course of several days. I mean, you can do it however you want, obviously, but I like the anticipation. There's $2 from Joshua Helmicke saying, I hate my money, just take it. 5 from Chris saying, you should but play Halo on the original Xbox.
Should or shouldn't?
Combat Evolved Anniversary on the Master Chief Collection. I think that is the worst version of the game you could play. I think we weren't talking about this, or someone was talking about this in Discord recently, about how like the original is keyframed for 30 frames per second, so everything would be wrong if they. Getting it to run at 60 and then still play correctly is
a big ask.
Like it caused like a lot of lag or something like that. Because I noticed that when Anniversary came out on the 360, that there was a ton of lag.
So you know what? When I was actually playing it, I don't even remember why I was doing this. I think I was just testing Xbox 360 backwards compatibility for some reason. And even though I've never played, I have played, but not a meaningful amount of the game on original Xbox. You know, I was playing it on the 360 backwards compatibility, which I had never tested before. And I was just like, oh, this seems like it's working just fine. I was surprised. I mean, of course, the backwards compatibility list on the 360 is pretty limited, but you know, it is an interesting feature. I don't remember why.
There was a $10 reals. Oh well, first there was Jamie White, who donated $5 without a message, but thank you. Then there was 10 reals from Pedroca Severo saying, well, that was fast, assuming he was talking about being topped. Let's see here. There was $5 from Josie. Or it's either Josie or Josie. Love the RGB series, and it's made me want to go native for all the consoles you own. How do you feel about the Linus Tech Tips showing off the OSSC? I saw a little bit of it. I feel like I was like at the grocery store or something like that.
I saw someone link it in the Discord chat, but I haven't looked at it yet.
It's just cool. Like, I mean, probably the thing that I think is most exciting about it is like getting that much more attention means more attention for Marc's like more, like he'll make more money off of it to like help with the development of the Pro.
Yep.
You know, it's only going to lead to more, to like better, to better products. Let's see here. There's $2 from Potbelly Punch saying, try Jet Moto 2, wipe out but looser, wilder physics. I have Jet Moto 2. I have like a weird thing for like hover bikes, so I like the ideas. Like I like the idea of hover bikes. I think the reason I even played the game Flashback, the Quest for Identity, is because at the very beginning he gets on a hover bike in the opening cutscene. That made me want to buy the game. But I do have Jet Moto 2. I feel like maybe did I get, because I had an extra copy of Jet Moto 2 I got at Goodwill. I feel like I may have given it to you.
That's a PlayStation game, right?
Yeah.
I don't think so.
There's $2 from Shadow Mask saying started playing PSO on the GameCube, loving the community. I'd seen you sent me a message on Discord about how we're gonna be playing PSO with Jimmy Hoppa in a couple of Saturdays. I don't think there's a specific day for it. Hopefully, it's not this coming Saturday.
Is he playing it on a Japanese system?
I don't think it matters for that.
Like, can you play
server.
Play on American servers, like with the Japanese version? I assumed that they weren't really.
Well, no, I mean you can play on the custom server. I don't think that matters what region you're playing in.
Oh.
I hope it's not this coming Saturday because, like I said earlier, Saturday is my wife's birthday, so I wouldn't be able to play on this coming Saturday. I'll message Mrs. Jimmy about it. Let's see here. There was $4.99 from Jebediah. Thank you. Saying my money always goes to the things I support. Keep on making awesome content, and thank you for all the amazing video.
Well, thank you.
I just wish we can get them out quicker. There's $9.99 from Sean Quinn. Said in Perd Hapley's voice. I'm not sure who Perd Hapley is. Do you know who Perd Hapley is?
I don't know most people.
Saying here is $9.99, the amount of money I'm currently giving to you. I'll have to look up Perd Hapley. Sean Quinn had mentioned playing like us each week at the end of the stream, like playing a level of I Want to Be the Guy. I'll have to look it up.
I played a bit of it on Backloggery stream years ago. It's kind of like almost like a parody version of like Super Meat Boy.
There's $5 from Matt Smith saying, "Keep bringing us those nice sharp pixels." Nice sharp pixels.
I need to understand where this guy, like, I feel like I'm taking damage when at times I don't expect to. So I need to figure out his box a little better. I feel like I got so close one time. I had him within 5 hits.
At least you just can try and try because you keep on getting extra lives.
Yeah, the extra lives are pretty plentiful, so that's
there's $2 from Henry Clark. Thank you, saying the boys story is better than Marvel movies. Don't at me. Well, I mean, it's different. I think that like the idea of a psychopath Superman type character is pretty frightening.
Have you ever seen what's it called? It's Bright something.
Brightburn.
Yeah.
No, but I've watched all the relevant scenes on YouTube.
Oh,
and that's terrifying too.
It's an interesting concept.
Yeah. Well, The Boys is kind of like that, but there's a lot more layers to it. There is $2 from Greg Kraft saying, "You guys gonna get the Super Mario Brothers Game & Watch?"
I feel like I am, and I'm not happy about it. The footage they have shown of it is so bad. I have no idea if it actually represents how it's going to look on the screen, but it's it's been on the rough side, I think.
Yeah. I mean, on the most recent Insert Credit podcast, Tim Rogers says that if I saw one like on the sidewalk and I accidentally stepped on it, I would probably pick it up. But I mean, I have no desire or plans to get it. I'll be quite happy with my my Astro City instead. That's my Game & Watch.
Yeah, sure.
There's $5 from Red Wolfie saying, for a good time, make it MLiG time.
Well, I'm glad that me fighting the final boss on this for like however long it's been so far is still considered a good time.
There is $5 Australian dollars or yes from 57 Rye saying 5 kangaroo coins. You guys are enjoying the mister. That, I mean, when I see $5 pop up every time, I can't, you know, I feel like it's intentional. Thank you. There was $2 from Joshua Helmicke saying, I blame you, John Perry G. It is all John Perry G's. JPGs. Our old pal JPEG. There's $10 from Dr. Claw 77.
Thank you. Well, that was pretty good.
This message sponsored by Quality Markets. That's where I bought, you know, that's probably where I originally bought my Game Pros as a Quality Market. I will tell you that I did buy the first video game magazine I ever owned was Video Games and Computer Entertainment #1. And I did buy that at Quality Market.
Well, there you go.
Quality Markets in my town eventually became a Save-A-Lot, which is like a...
I've seen those.
It's like... I've only shopped there like a couple of times. Save-A-Lot. It feels like... It's like the Big Lots of grocery stores. Maybe. I don't know. There's a $7.77 from Seven Kurgan. Once again, thank you. Saying, I remember discovering you guys in March 2017 and the revelation of 240p signal and upscaling your games to look almost as good as emulation. 2017. Do you realize, like, the Thursday the 1st, so like 2.5 weeks or 2 weeks, 3 weeks. It'll be 7 years since we started the channel.
Wow.
7 years.
That's pretty wild.
There's $5 from John Perry G saying, Joshua Helmicke, we will donate more money to MLiG, waving my hand over you like Obi-Wan. Using my Jedi mind tricks. Thank you. There's $5 from Potbelly Punch saying the greatest hits in the original Jet Moto 2 are different. They sent the wrong version when pressing the greatest hits. It runs at 30 frames with only 4 racers. It was an accident. I gotta look what version I have.
Oh no. I feel like I can beat this guy. I just need to be careful. I mean, part of me just wants to get over with as quickly as possible because then he's got less opportunities to hurt me, but...
It's the greatest hits.
Oh no.
Josh Helmicke donated $5. Thank you. Saying this isn't the money I need right now. Move along. Move along. There's $2 from Michael Vu saying, should I get Wii component from HD Retrovision, OEM, or other?
You know, HD Retrovision is a great choice. That's actually what I've got hooked up in my main setup right now. But to be completely honest, like, it's been a while since I did any tests really, but I have not seen as big of a difference with like cheap Wii cables compared to like cheap PlayStation cables or cheap Xbox cables. Like in general, I've found that cheap Wii cables are much more acceptable than you might expect. But you know, like if you find a cheap set at a local store, probably would work okay. What Steve has told us though is that, like, you know, I mean, he admitted with, you know, it's just a new option. It's not necessarily going to give you a tangibly different result from OEM cables on a regular Wii. But if you're using them on Wii U, he said you will get a difference with 720p.
Right. I think the main reason I use the official cables, I think, right now is because they're longer. Even though you can put the HD Retro visions into, like, with the extensions that they sell, and they won't affect it at all. But that's the main reason I use them, because I think that they're slightly longer.
Well, they reach in my setup, so I decided to use them. And, you know, I've got the official ones just loose, you know, if I need to do a quick setup in some fashion.
There was $4.99 from Sean Quinn saying you don't have to give a figure, but at least close to record donation in it for a single stream.
It feels like it.
It's got to be close. If it's not the record, then it's like definitely a second. I will look in just a little bit. There's $5 from Ashura saying, sorry for missing your birthday, hun, but Raggle needs me. You understand, right? I assume that's like in terms of if I need to play some PSO on my wife's birthday next Saturday. We're going kayaking. Because the kids are going to their grandparents on Wednesday and staying for the weekend, and we can go kayaking without having to, like, drag our kids to do it. They're from Yura Parkomob donated 149. I assume there is it rubles, RUB. Nice. Is that what it would be? Is rubles like the?
Gotcha.
What?
Gotcha.
Oh, you win. Well, I'm still catching up here. So you might have to play I Want to Be the Guy. So there is, but thank you for Yura. I appreciate that. There was $5 from Quibquatch. It's saying, question: original Xbox using official component 480p on a PVM 20L5 versus a flat LCD. Do you think? What do you think is better technically, and how do you prefer to play Xbox?
Say that again. Also, this is not much of an ending.
If you're using an original Xbox using component cables at 480p, would you say a PVM 20L5 versus a flat screen LCD? What do you think is better technically, and how would you prefer to play original Xbox?
It's such a tough call. I mean, OSSC on a OLED, you know, can look really, really nice.
Yeah, well, I mean, if you're doing line doubling, if you're doing 960p with 480p line doubling, I think that looks really good. And that's, I mean, most of the time, that's probably how I would play it.
Yeah, I mean, right now, my one and only Xbox is hooked up in this setup here, so I would play it on the 20L5. I mean, it's a toss-up for me. I love playing on PVMs, but I also love playing on the OSSC on OLED. Like, I love them both. I to be honest, like in my if I'm just playing a game on my own time, I tend to go for the OLED just because, I have my recliner couch down there, it just feels like a more laid back environment. But like, especially during streams, I love playing on the PVM, like I'm doing right now for this. Yeah.
And there was $2 from Ben Brody saying, Coury, did you take the lantern home with you or not? And I asked, and I was denied.
Oh! What, did she give a reason why she needs it?
The lantern. Well, I mean, it was just, she just likes it, I guess.
Oh, here's a little more ending.
Sean Quinn, it's definitely a close second. I think that the most was during the Mario 3 stream, because we had one person that just kept on doing like multiple hundreds.
Oh gosh, yeah, that's right. that was such a crazy adventure, that Mario 3 stream. Who would have thought that Congo's caper would come in second place for anything?
Yeah.
Did you finally catch up?
Yes, I'm caught up. I feel like I need to fill up my water because I was like reading them so quickly.
Are we locked up here? We are locked up. That's how games should end. You push all the buttons and nothing. I don't know why this just popped in my head. It's a really random thing I learned this weekend.
What's that?
And I just had never tried to do it before, but if you've got an N64 flash cartridge and a PVM or OSSC or similar device that can accept 50 hertz, and you load a PAL ROM on an N64 EverDrive, like, your system will output 50 hertz. Like, my NTSC N64 could do that. The thing is, though, some people on our Discord were saying that composite NES video will be black and white, even from an NTSC system, but I guess that encoding comes from the game. But if you have RGB, you can play in 50 hertz. And boy, is it weird playing Super Mario 64 at 50 hertz. It was an interesting experience.
Vega Schmidt was saying about that person during the Mario stream said he didn't refund them all. I figured he was drunk. It's very possible that he did. We don't get any kind of notification if that stuff gets refunded. It wasn't Voltar. It was somebody else. Somebody who was, I don't think has ever been in a stream again since then. So I mean, it's very possible. We just have no way. So this could be easily number one, like with a bullet, for sure. But I mean, I there's no way to know if anything gets refunded like that. There was $4.99 from Scotter140 saying, "Do you guys want to review a Retro Freak console? I got one you can borrow." I'm the one who emailed. I think at this point, I think that like our plate is too full to do something on the
Yeah,
on the
I mean, it's been around a long time, so I
offer.
think most people who that's what they would be into, like, kind of already have enough information out there about it. But we mentioned, like, it's very similar to like the Retron 5. So like, if we ever need to mention in videos, like, systems like the Retro Freak and Retron 5, I can, maybe show a quick clip from the Retron 5, but thanks for offering.
There's $2 from Eric Schussler. Thank you. Saying only hardcore fan donation train for Congo's caper. I see the Mario DS64 is saying, what version of the game were you playing in 50 hertz? I'm going to fill up my water while you answer that question.
It was the European PAL version. I don't know if there's like multiple European versions, but the one that I was playing offered German and French, and I was very amused and delighted to discover that Cool Mountain is called Bibberberg Bob. Bibberberg Bob in German. That is a fantastic name. Oh, Retro Freak makes the best Famicom to NES adapters. Interesting. Are those adapters that can be used like on real hardware too? I've not tried the IQ version yet, but I will. Are there any PAL N64 exclusives worth your time? I don't know. Are there any PAL N64 exclusives? There's probably something. But, you know, it was just that I wanted to show the PAL version of Mario 64. So, not necessarily implying that like, oh wow, this opens up, you know, a whole bunch of games you might want to collect. But it does open up an interesting avenue for us to be able to show 50 hertz. And I did not know that we could do that on NTSC N64. I've got PAL Mega Drive, and I was borrowing a PAL Super Nintendo, so I've recorded a bunch of footage from that. So I have ways to do 50 hertz, but it's just nice to know that, oh, I can also do that on my N64, and I had no idea. We HD Retrovision cables are good on the Toshiba 27AF45. Absolutely. I mean, honestly, on that kind of TV, like, you're not going to see any advantage of like a better or worse cable, I don't think. Unless like, I've never ordered like, you know, like cheapo cables on Amazon for the Wii, like recently or ever really. Like I've got a bunch of like more budget cables, but they came from like the Grid, which is like a Goodwill store that has electronic stuff, and they've just got like tons and tons and tons of Wii cables. So I've just bought a variety of them just for testing purposes, and all of them worked fine. Even ones that I assumed were cheaper. But I've not bought like recent cheap Wii cables. I don't know if they're like bad or not, but like HD Retrovision Wii cables are like engineered the best. And supposedly you'll see a difference at 720p or higher on a Wii U. But for a regular Wii, like you're not going to get an advantage from them, but there's no disadvantage to them either. I mean, they're definitely the best engineered cables.
Joe Ryukin 28 is saying, you guys have any ETA in the next episode of whatever you guys have coming? Kind of addicted to the content you guys produce. I mean, I'm going to try to get this. I mean, it's like there'll be something like hopefully by this time next week.
Hopefully. Yeah, Mario 64.
Yeah, it's going to be like the Mario 64 because I am working on this this EverDrives episode, which is just like an update, like an EverDrives in 2020 video that I had worked on before I went to my mom's, but then coming back.
I'm going to grab another game while you're talking. Just something to fiddle around with.
It was just something that I felt like I needed to recenter myself on it. So I'm like, took a little bit of time, especially I came back and my kids were just starting school. So dealing with all that has been kind of mentally draining each day. So that'll be following shortly after that, if not before, but probably not before, but those two will hit like really close to each other. What was that? Sunshine and Galaxy are probably not going to be in it because there's just so much 64, and it would feel weird. I think it would be lopsided. If there's 30 minutes of 64 and then maybe like 10 minutes each of the other two. So we just thought it'd be more interesting to hyper focus on one game in it. But I mean, that's absolutely right. Getting back into the zen of editing, like it's been tough, like getting back since returning back home. Having kids that are schooling from home.
Oh, look at my sad Kirby Superstar
easy.
cartridge. I think you replaced the battery in this one, didn't you? Huh?
Probably, I might have.
I think you replaced the battery. Yeah, this used to have 200% files. It's very sad.
$4.99 from Sean Quinn saying, "Do the Sunday night streams keep Sandy up? What time does she normally go to bed? Let's wait until I go to bed."
Sandy, it's funny because if she's been at my parents' house, she'll very much like be really tired early in the evening because, you know, my dad goes to bed, you know, like by 10 o'clock. So he puts her up. She sleeps in the laundry room. I've got a baby gate at the laundry room, and she's got her bed in there and water. Like she is usually, so I mean, sometimes she's lazy in the evenings, but you know, she also can get riled up in the evening. Like she is not like ever ready for bed. Like she never, well, I say that some days, like if she's had a real big day, she's real tired, she will very willingly go into the laundry room. But usually, like, she does this little thing. I think she's got a sense of humor, because she does this thing most nights where, you know, I say, okay, we gotta go night. And she gets up and she starts going toward the laundry room, but then she just like slowly walks past the laundry room and she starts wagging her tail like, I'm not going in there.
There was a $2 donation from B-Spec Bob. Thank you. Saying, thoughts on the Polymega? I gotta be honest, I have not been following it at all since
people have been like talking, like more people have been looking at and stuff.
I haven't been following it at all.
Yeah.
Like, I know that the Metal Jesus did a video, but I haven't never watched it.
Yeah, I have not kept up to date either. I've been playing too many Game Boy Kirby games. I was hitting select to get rid of my power. It's saying this.
What games are you all currently playing at home? For me, it's just Dragon Quest XI. I'm very, very close. And you've been playing Xenoblade.
Xenoblade Chronicles X Definitive Edition on Nintendo Switch.
Not X.
Or I don't know why I said X, but yeah, Xenoblade Chronicles Definitive Edition. Yeah. Yeah, I've enjoyed going back to it. I think I'm kind of in the wind up to the end, if I remember how it goes. But then there's like a new chapter that you like actually select from the main menu. It's not it's completely standalone, like nothing transfers between them. I don't really know anything about it. I think it takes place after the main game. But apparently it's like 20 hours. So I'm
But that's when it links it to the sequel, right?
Oh, I don't know if it's linked to the sequel.
That's what I think the whole point of it is to link to the sequel.
Oh, I have no idea.
Do you feel like you
want to give it another try, give two another chance?
Yeah.
Yeah, I've thought about it a little bit. Like, I just thought the battle system was really boring. But I could see myself giving another chance sometime. I don't know how easy it is to get these days.
It shouldn't be that hard. There's a $10 donation from Chris V saying, been wanting to play some games on my PVM and be able to somehow stream with them, but I've never used a capture device before. Any recommendations? What do both of you use? Well,
the one I'm using right now is like kind of stupidly expensive and doesn't really suit anyone's needs unless you have very specific capture requirements.
Epos Vox did a very good video about really, really cheap, like sub $20 capture device.
Oh, really? I wonder if any of them work on the OSSC.
Like OSSC.
Really?
Yeah. So I would check out something like that.
Mm-hmm.
He has a video on his channel, maybe multiple videos on his channel.
Yeah, I mean, I'm usually not like
OSBOX.
I'm not like keeping up with capture cards unless it's like I need one, you know?
Yeah, I mean, I think you and I are very much the same way in that kind of stuff where it's just like building a new computer.
Mm-hmm.
Like I don't really follow what is happening in like with computer technology until I'm ready to build a new system. Although I think I'm gonna go for an RTX 3080 at some point between now and Christmas. If I can work that out. I feel like going from my 1080 Ti, which like is pretty significant.
I almost died.
Going from that to the 3080, it'll be a worthy jump.
Yeah, it'll be interesting how that improves your render times. I mean, I'm sure that's the main thing you're thinking about.
Yeah, I want to know how it works with the Premiere and After Effects and stuff. It's funny you playing this. My son was playing this. I put this on for him the other day.
Oh, really?
And he made it almost all the way through. Like, what is it, Spring Breeze?
Yeah, this is Spring Breeze.
Yeah, I mean that just right there just shows how kind of accessible this is. For
how old is he?
Especially, he's 5.
Okay. I mean, I couldn't.
I mean, he probably couldn't beat it.
I couldn't beat video games when I was 5.
And it's interesting because a lot of times he's more into like watching other people play.
Mm-hmm.
He wants to watch every time he comes down here. He's like, "Can I watch you play a video game?"
I mean, honestly, that's great for you, right?
Yeah, right. I mean, that's why I think this whole Pokemon thing might work.
Yeah. Have they watched Dragon Quest XI at all?
A little bit, yeah. They watched. Monty was watching yesterday when I forged the Sword of Light.
Mm.
He was pretty into that.
That's a pretty cool moment.
He's like, "Is this your favorite game?" Like, no, it's not my favorite game. It's pretty good. Yeah, didn't they say that? So Nvidia bought ARM.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it just came out today.
That's interesting.
I don't really know what that means, but that's like ARM is like basically every like mobile processor, right?
I mean, I honestly don't know what like current ARM stuff is. I mean, like I know like that's a big thing on like, you know, past Nintendo handhelds, but I don't. Does it have anything to do with the Switch? I have no idea. Like Switch is like all Nvidia, isn't it?
Yeah.
I mean,
that's
might have
crazy.
an ARM. Like ARMs can be used for all kinds of things, so I have no idea.
Yeah. They bought is like $40 billion or something like that.
Wow.
Okay. Yeah. So I'm excited about the 3080 because I just want to see what it's going to do for, you know, for playback speed and everything like that, or if, you know, using SSDs and everything. Like, is it going to be like no issue playing anything back? Am I never going to get any drop frames or anything? It'd be nice.
I've been having an issue lately. Actually, I think it was improved when I cleared out some space. I was having an issue, like, even from my SSD, like, when I was, like, adding new folders, like, the new folder wouldn't actually appear. And then if I, like, went back in the file structure and then went back to the folder, it, I would see it. And then, like, I would rename the folder to whatever I want it to be, and it, you know, and then it won't show the change. It'll still just say new folder, but then I go back up and then back in, and it has the name that I gave it. So I don't know.
Yeah, I have no idea.
But I moved all of my you know, I as soon as I started the transfer, I realized I forgot to give you a ProRes of I backed up all the Game Boy IPS stuff. And
Yeah.
I realized I forgot to give you a ProRes, which I actually didn't render because I forget exactly if I determined a specific cause, and I can't remember if I did something to fix it or if it just got fixed on its own. I can't remember, but I was having render issues with it. So I ultimately did not make a ProRes. I was going to make the backup later because I was just like, well, I just want to hurry up and get the YouTube version done. So I just made an H.264. But, I mean, I can just open it up in the backup folder and relink the files to make the ProRes. But I thought of that, like, immediately after I started the transfer, but oh well. But anyway, yeah, I cleared all that stuff off, and I think it might be performing better now. Because it was pretty full.
There's $2 Canadian from Vibe Mecha with a really cool Miles Morales avatar saying, "Would you let a Mario character perform surgery on you?"
I mean, depends on how real Dr. Mario's degree is.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Who'd be the worst one that has?
I mean,
I'd let Wiggler perform surgery on me.
Wiggler. I mean, Bowser would definitely be pretty bad just because, I mean, he's so big. Like, there's no way he could do anything with precision.
There's 2 reals from Guilherme Souza. I'm sorry.
Guilherme? I'm sorry.
Guilherme.
2 reals.
Guilherme.
Which is best to play GameCube games, Dolphin or Wii U? Well, I mean, to be honest, I have extraordinarily limited experience with Dolphin. You know, Dolphin is going to let you do those high resolutions, and Dolphin is like the poster child of emulators. Like, it's everyone loves Dolphin. No one says anything bad about Dolphin. you know, Wii U, I was recording some of the Wii version of Super Mario 64 off the Wii U. And the Wii U definitely has some scaling artifacts with its Wii mode. So, I mean, it's not perfect. But, I mean, I've never been as opposed to the Wii mode on the Wii U as a lot of people are, and it does some unwholesome, you might say, things with its scaling. You know, there can be some sharpening artifacts, some color issues. You know, you know, like you can see sort of a weird halo in some ways, like around some of the green trees in Mario 64. So the Wii U is definitely not perfect for playing backwards compatible games. It's certainly not going to look the best, but it is going to be a step closer to original hardware than Dolphin. So I guess it kind of just depends on if that aspect matters to you.
I was just like looking at the comment page, not like in the stream, but like our comment, and they're like someone commented just 20 minutes ago on the Master System RGB episode saying, "Coury, how did you lose your hair? You seem to be quite young."
How'd you lose it? Like well,
I mean, it was coming out pretty. I mean, by the time I was like,
I mean, you know, that had, you know, a lot of people are looking a little thin in their 20s, you know, and you, including you.
Yeah.
I mean,
I just
it's just genetic. It just happens. But I mean, you know, I wonder if he was looking like, well, you know, it was a fall day in 2008. You know,
I narrowly dodged a fireball that burnt it all off. No, I mean, it was thinning pretty seriously by the time I was like 25, and when I moved to New York, I was there for, I mean, it must have been like 6 months, and my roommate at the time was a hairdresser, and one day I just got sick of it, and I asked her, I said, "We just like shave my head," because she had the tools for it. And that's what happened. Just did it. I can't even imagine. And I mean, it's crazy to think that I was 26 at the time. So I mean, 15 years. Crazy to think I haven't had hair for like over 15 years. You could wear a toupee shaped like Tri's hair for a stream. I mean, I have like some wigs. They're not like real wigs, but I could wear a wig one stream. Would that be funny? I've never done that, right? I've never like worn a hair wig.
That would be really funny, actually.
I mean, maybe
you could
I'll
do that in an episode sometime.
Yeah, well, I mean, they're like, we have these wigs that I don't remember where we got it from. I think it was, I feel like I may have worked as a production assistant on something, and they got rid of a whole bunch of stuff from like the wardrobe when it ended, and there's a whole bunch of wigs, and they're like mostly like long hair wigs, and we used to always get them out when we played Rock Band. So when we had friends over to like play Rock Band, like we'd get out all the wigs, and everybody would wear wigs when we were playing Rock Band.
That's funny. But you know, I have often thought if I like didn't do YouTube and like wanted my hair to look relatively consistent, like during this whole pandemic, I might have just like shaved it all off, like not with the intent of doing what you're doing, but just like shaved it off and just see where it goes. You know, see what see what comes back out.
Is that once you cut it all the way off, like to let it grow out, it's gonna look incredibly horrible for who even knows how long.
I know why. Like I say, if I didn't do YouTube, you know.
Yeah.
But like I have not gotten a haircut, but like several times while shaving, you know, I've just used the trimmer on my razor to, you know, just, you know, get it to go back a good bit. Cause I don't like how it feels when it gets too long. I just don't like it. Feels yucky. You know, I've kind of felt like, you know, I'm sure the back is a mess, but hey, you don't see it on YouTube, so I don't care. So like, you know, I've kind of felt like I've done kind of okay. Like I'm like, yeah, you know, maybe I'm kind of not terrible at this. Although I feel like I noticed like my hair, like more just kind of stray hairs, like just sticking out here and there than I get, you know, compared to like having a proper haircut, you know. Wear a wig to play Kabuki Quantum
wear a
Fighter.
sombrero during stream one day. I would love to wear like one of those big sombreros, like the ones that they have in like Dumb and Dumber during a stream. I mean, I wonder where you would buy something like that.
Should I pop in something else, or should we call it?
I mean, why don't you show me? Oh, you can't because that's downstairs. I want to be the guy that's downstairs.
What were you gonna say?
I was gonna say you should do I Want to Be the Guy, but that's downstairs.
Oh, that's a PC game.
Oh, I thought it was a PS3.
I mean, it's got like sprites from like real video games in it.
Well, if Super Guy 88 is still here, maybe Super Guy can.
I think it's only on PC, or I mean, it's a free game.
Oh, okay.
I mean, it's like a parody game. It's got like sprites of like characters from other games and stuff in it. So it's like, it's not a real like official release game.
Oh, okay.
I mean, I don't know if there could be like a port to like a console that we could play it on, but maybe there's a Dreamcast version. I'll grab something else off the Super Nintendo just because that's what I'm doing.
I'll wrap it up. Yeah, you can grab your EverDrive. Why don't you play Gimmick? For him to come back and see if he'll do it. Maybe I'm getting I Want to Be the Guy. Wasn't there a PS3 game called The Last Guy? Maybe that's why.
Here is, I think, the most underrated puzzle game of all time.
People were saying you should get your EverDrive and play Gimmick. But that might be fun, just like an entire stream to play that.
Yeah, that's more of a entire stream idea, I would say. That's too much to do during the wind down of a stream.
So what I think I was getting wasn't there a PS3 game called The Last Guy?
I don't know.
Yeah, yes, okay.
Is that what you were thinking of?
I tried to say it right that time. Saying there was a PS3 game called The Last Guy. So that's what I was getting it mixed up with. Or Schusler saying, I want to say the Sunday streams are something I look forward to every weekend. such a cozy way to end the day. And we've like built up like such a cool community around these streams, and I think that we never anticipated this ever, like when we started doing them. And I mean, I look forward to it a lot every week too. It's such a cool way to like end one week and start the next.
Whoa.
And it's funny. I mean, I think that, let me look when, did we talk about this recently? About how we started streaming on YouTube like almost exactly 5 years ago. Look at the, if you go to the stream playlist, let me find it. The stream playlist. To
Bagger Schmidt said that this game only sucks, is only underrated because it sucks. Harumph. I mean, this is usually my answer for favorite puzzle game. Maybe not the most popular answer, but it drives me nuts how Nintendo is always reselling the NES version. Because this is clearly the better version. There's no versus com mode in the NES version, which is my favorite mode.
So 5 years ago today, or 5 years ago, yeah, yesterday technically. Now it's Monday the 14th, but so 5 years ago on September 13th, 2015, we streamed the SNES and RGB. So that must have been right after 204 came out, RGB 204.
Yeah.
Full donations here.
Wario's Woods is weird, but like the idea that you actually move a character within the playing field is just like so my thing.
There's a $2 donation from Shadow Mask. Again, thank you. I love you, you love me. We're a happy family. Old Barney. Is Barney still around, I wonder?
I have no clue. I mean, I remember it was like the big thing to just
watch Barney, but I wonder if they'd make new episodes of Barney.
Like everyone our age, just like it was such a popular thing to like hate on Barney, and I never really understood why. And I'm sure the reason is because most people have, you know, siblings. I didn't.
Chris Kachatorian said with $4.99. Thank you. I hope I'm saying it right now. I saw your pronunciation earlier. But Chris says, I was watching your older videos this weekend, including Try Shinobi 3 video. Do you guys plan on doing more videos on games? And yes, I mean, that would be really cool to do it. You know, in a way we were trying to do something like that with the ad-libs that we did.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that if we do more game-focused stuff, it's going to be like the best way to play type thing.
Yeah, like we did with the Castlevania video, and Fantasy Star, and like what we're working on right now for Mario 64.
There's $5 from Venice area saying happy 5-year anniversary. Well, technically it's 5-year anniversary. I mean, I guess we started streaming in May of 2015. So we've been streaming for over 5 years. There's also $19.99 from Sean Quinn. Thank you. Saying happy 25th streaming anniversary. I mean, it's technically not an anniversary. It's a 5-year anniversary of
Sweet.
the release of RGB 204. Back when every RGB was over 12 minutes, but under 13 minutes.
I totally forgot that I have apparently named my player in this game Toad with like an E, like Toad, like your toe, like the
Like
past
like a
tense
movie.
verb of whatever you do with your toe, Toad.
There's a $5 donation from Lucas Peruzovich. With the isn't that Cecil? Dark Knight Cecil.
Oh yeah, that's Cecil.
I will always say Cecil. I won't say Cecil.
No, oh, that is literally the only reason I didn't get the DS version of.
Because it's-
Cause I could not cope with that.
and just like I'll always say Titus, not Titus.
Oh yeah, oh gosh, like no way ever.
And how I'll only say butts, not Barts.
Oh, I do say Barts.
I just like butts.
Cool.
I was saying, would you do the one chip challenge? Would you make a video about it if you did? I'm not sure what the one chip challenge is. I
Like
just
a
know
Super
chips
Nintendo one
chips
chip?
challenge. What's that?
Like a Super Nintendo one chip.
Maybe, I don't know. I assume that it's I thought it maybe had to do with the Lynx game Chips Challenge. Says, come on. So we didn't really talk about this. I mean, I talked about this a little bit with some people, and the reason Cecil made me think of Adam Sessler and how there was the announcement about G4, like looking for talent. And it's such a complicated thing. I've spent a lot of time thinking about like I'm just not sure if G4 can survive. And
I mean, didn't they end their
like-
gaming coverage a long time ago?
G4 is like long gone. Like they went off the air a long time. I think that if they wanted to do it, like a smart way for them to do it, I'm not sure if this is something that could even happen, but they should not even think about going after like any kind of like YouTube audience. Like their audience that they should be aiming for should not be people who watch gaming content on YouTube. It should be people who don't want to like look through all the stuff on YouTube and just have something, you know, curated and delivered to them. And I think that in a way,
Yes.
what they could do is like license like content from
YouTube.
YouTube people
Yeah.
who like make shows.
Yeah.
I feel like that's something that would actually work. I don't know like how that they would like pay for that, but I mean, I was talking to Joe Redifer about it recently. I said, I mean, what if they came to you and said, you know, we'll give you this much money up front to like, you know, to go back through your episodes and remove all these things about YouTube, you know, like leave stuff in the comments, blah, blah, blah. And we showed your show on television. We just like license your episodes to show them on television. I mean, I think that something like that could probably work as long as they don't, you know, they should just not be going for the YouTube audience, because I don't think that would succeed. Like they just wouldn't have a chance with that.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, the only other option that they would have is to like make like Lord X Mugen is saying like I liked icons. Like that is something that they could get away with, and if everything was of that level. Right. I mean, I think like just if they put GameSack on TV and they showed it, like with as many like with over 300 episodes, they could show it for years. And for people who don't want to wade through all like the YouTube like pool of videos, you could just catch it on TV.
Sweet.
I mean, I've thought a bit about that. I just don't know how they could possibly succeed in today's climate. Like creating original things, because even then, even taking something like High Score on Netflix, that is like hitting that audience, like the audience that, like kind of a casual audience who doesn't really know about any of this stuff. Like those are the people that would watch, that enjoy it. I am looking forward to, and I probably will sign up for the CBS All Access to watch the Console Wars. Is that supposed to be a series, or is it just like one documentary? Although they did take their logo, looks like, from the YouTube show Console War. I don't know how that worked out, but I saw some people tweeting about it yesterday. It's not cool. But if it's a long-running series like that, that's something I'm super interested in watching. I don't know. It's just such a cool, like a G4, like a G4 just doesn't really have a chance, I feel like. But something like you look at Console Wars, where it's like a whole series dedicated to a specific time period and event, like that is way more interesting to me than, in a way, the kind of tease that the High Score was in a lot.
Sweet. Yeah.
A lot of gaming shows on YouTube are super cheap despite being well edited, and that's true. But I mean, I don't know if they could license that kind of content from people to fill out, maybe with a couple of extra shows of their own. That's one way they could do it. I don't know. That is the only thing that I could think of how they could succeed in today's climate. Yeah, I mean, Console Wars, I'm definitely excited about it because, I mean, I lived it, so I'm excited to revisit it. And I'm excited to see who they interview. That's usually like the most exciting part about it for me.
What is Console Wars exactly? I'm completely.
It's that book.
I know the book, but like, there's a. What are they doing? They're making
a documentary.
A show?
It's a documentary series about it.
I see.
About the same subject. But I mean, it seems like they got like all the key players. So that's why I think that it's going to end up being more interesting, because it seems like they got more interesting people than High Score did.
I see. Well, should that do it?
Okay, so it's not a series; it's one documentary. So it's not like a mini series, like maybe a 3 or 4 installment series, like a mini series maybe. like in the way that Analog Frontiers is a documentary, but it's a series as well. Like a limited series, rather.
Yeah. At one point, I thought about making it one documentary, but no.
All right, that is going to do it.
I guess that will do it.
Well, that was a crazy night. Thank you,
Cra-
everybody.
Craziest night the Congo's Caper's ever been a part of.
Yes, thank you to everybody who hung out and everybody who donated. That's like, it was incredible.
Very
Like,
generous.
definitely the highest revenue. I mean, real revenue, as far as I know. I mean, it's very possible that other person just asked for refunds or like what is it, back charged it or whatever. So that was a lot of fun.
Yep. All right.
Anyways, that's
We
gonna do it.
will see y'all next week, and if you're lucky, there might even be a Mario 64 video by this time this week.
So I'm gonna be
Next
be
week.
going for it.
All right. Good
All
night.
right.